Hello. Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Noclip Crewcast. This is episode 192, and I am here with Jeremy Jane. Jeremy, how's it going, my friend?
It's going great. It's a beautiful day to talk about video games.
Yes, it is. Only video games that released and stayed out, not games that got released and removed from storefronts less than a month later. Sorry, Concord fans, your favorite game's gone. Speaking of things that are gone, you may notice we are short a Danny this week. He's doing something. I can never remember if we've announced everything. I feel like I'm the Tom Holland of Noclip. I feel like I accidentally announce shit all the time because I can't remember what's public knowledge or not. Does everyone know what he's doing this week? Jeremy?
I don't know. I think the safe thing to do would be say that Frank and Danny are in a distant land and
yes,
they're doing something there.
Okay. They're maybe working, maybe hanging out.
Who knows?
Who knows?
Say? We're to say, but we're not allowed to say, maybe.
That's
I don't
right.
know. But we don't know. We also very well may be allowed to say.
I can't remember. I feel like last week he did say the exact street address of where he was going, but also, who's to say?
Go listen to that episode if you're curious.
Yeah, if you missed last week's, or if you didn't listen to the whole thing, or you don't remember it like I do. I was there. I had the conversation, and I don't remember what we said, so... Anyway, yeah, we are still holding down the fort, keeping it light and tight and all that fun stuff. And we're doing an episode this week that's good. I would say
we're more than holding down the fort. I think we have a very, I would say this is a very special episode planned today.
Yes.
So Jesse and I have come up with an absolutely insane idea for this episode.
It's so fun.
We're going to talk about games a little bit.
Yes.
We're going to talk about maybe one game, and then immediately thereafter, we're going to write the next great video game movie. Now, if you're listening to this, you're like...
Maybe we'll write more than one.
I think here's the idea, is basically we've got a list of iconic video game franchises just waiting for me and Jesse to make our millions by writing a movie about them. And we've got another wheel to spin of various directors, movie styles, genres. And we're going to spin both of the wheels and let it generate a movie for us. And then Jesse and I will see how much meat is on that bone and see if there's a movie idea there for he and I to sell. You know, like the industry is very unstable. The games outlets go down all the time. Who knows? Someday we may need to pivot very hard into being the next great screenwriting duo for video game movies. And the bar is low for video game movies. I really think, I think we could do this because, like, I don't know. I feel like the Mario movie that just came out was a real hard 6 out of 10, and it did great. It made millions and millions of dollars because it was Mario. So all we need to do is just slap Mario on
literally anything.
It
doesn't
a
matter.
lunchbox.
Yep, that's $1 billion idea right there. They should have come up with that 60 years ago when it first. Let's just say Mario's 60 years old. He looks like it. He's got the hairline.
Damn, bro.
Sorry, Mario. Don't get mad at me. It's okay.
You know he listens to this.
Of course he does. He's actually a top-tier patron, just like the rest of our Italian plumbers that support us over on patreon.com/noclip, including Eamon Slattery, Harry Flanagan, Battle Royale Games, Arno, Richard Matherson, James Brown, Mark Rojas, Ryan Cobb, Tucker Morgan, David McGarry, Sven Huster, Pez, Uint Nate, Tim Robinson, Forrest Pruitt, Jonathan Kremen, Eric Hamilton Schneider, Cameron Ladd. I don't have any high-pitched notes in me today. Not enough coffee. Zachary Snader, Alex Sharp, Alex Goucher, George Zirkotis, Jacob Godserve, Tohir Tiliev, and Ryson. Thank you all so much for your support. I don't have access to the updated version of that list, so if you've given us a ton of money over on Patreon and you're not included in that list, it's not my fault. I am sorry, though. As a Canadian, I do have to say that every 15 minutes or they kick me out. Sorry is the thing I have to say, by the way. You ever notice I say that a lot? That I apologize all the time, but I'm not like actually sorry. It's just It's just what we do up here.
I think I'm like spiritually Canadian because I am also a very apologetic person. Yeah, I don't know. I just feel like it's like I'd always rather just be like, I'm sorry. And people are like, I don't care. And I'm like, you know what? Just in case you did, I wanted to throw it out there that I feel bad all the time.
Really, I'm apologizing for me, not for you. So I don't care whether or not you care.
I'm sorry for the way I am. Just a general.
I wish there was something I could do about it. But
I've tried everything, and therapy didn't help. There's no medication for whatever is going on up here.
Yep, the only medication is more games, more gaming keeps me alive and keeps me from apologizing to my peers. Video games, especially, Jeremy, it sounds like you played a real panacea this week, at least from the looks of it. It would soothe my soul. It takes me back to the early 2000s when I was 7. Tell us a little bit about Basilisk 2000.
So Basilisk 2000, this is a game I've wanted to play for a bit. This is from Kira, who is also the developer of Lunacid and has worked on a number of other things. But Lunacid is kind of the big recent one if you're looking for a touchstone here. Basilisk 2000 is a... How do I even explain this game? It's like an experimental meta game about making games, I would say. It is the conceit is that it is a fictional abandoned RPG from the late 90s, early 2000s called Basilisk 2000. And what you're essentially doing is in a fictional like Unity style game engine editor, you are navigating around the world of an unfinished game and checking out assets and like clipping through things, turning textures on and off and stuff, and like editing the scale and the position of different things, and basically just exploring a world of a video game through a fictional game editor. Now, you may ask yourself, this does not sound. How can you like progress in a game like this? How can there be like a sequence of events that you're progressing through that actually feels like a game? I would say that I'm talking around it as hard as I can because it's kind of an easy thing to spoil because there is something else going on here. But basically it's like, not only are you kind of figuring out what the game would have been about, you're also, the game itself is sort of a mirror for the experience of the people who made the game. I don't know if I'd call this a horror game, but I think there were a few moments where I found things that felt like I was not supposed to be looking at them. And I obviously like that is the intention of the developer of Basilisk 2000, but it felt like within the like the kayfabe of this being an abandoned piece of lost media, it feels like you're discovering things that the developers put in there when they weren't in the right frame of or the right like state of mind, like they were like losing their shit a little bit while making this game, and it starts this whole like meta media thing that goes beyond just like I was digging through the game's files last night and just like trying to.
That's like part of the gameplay, or is that just like you're just doing it for the hell of it?
Nothing in the game told me that I should be doing that. But the way that it works is basically that you are loading different scenes from this game. So there's like a command bar at the bottom, and you can type in like the area you started is called Havenwood. So if you type in load Havenwood at any time, it will load in that scene and take you back to the starting area. So what you're doing is you're like clipping through the area. You can also like walk around. You can switch between like an omniscient flying camera and walk you around, like a first person RPG. But so you go up and see like a signpost. You go up to the sign and it's like, this name of town is this way. And then if you type in load, like you can't walk, the map just ends. But if you type in load name of town, it'll teleport you to the next scene that would have loaded had you gone that way in the game. You know what I mean?
Right. So is this more like a detective style game where you're trying to solve something through these game scenes, or is there what's like the goal that you're trying to
I think it's
achieve?
More, there's no like, as far as I know, I've only played a couple hours of this at most. I was kind of like casually hanging out and playing it last night and like chipping away at it, and then like left to make dinner and came back and chipped away at it a little more. So I don't know how long this goes. I don't know if there's like an end point to it. As far as I could tell, it's kind of just you're slowly getting a fuller picture of the reasons this game is unfinished and sort of like what happened to the people who made it, I guess.
That's really cool.
Yeah. Again, I'm trying to be as vague as possible because I don't want to be like, and then like this fucked up thing happens. It's crazy. But there was no like Shyamalan moment where I was like, holy shit, that's what really happened. It's just that as I worked my way through the various environments and started going to the files and seeing like, I wonder if that's the name of an area. Let me try to load it. And then it like, after trying a bunch of failed ones, one loaded up that I felt like I wasn't supposed to find, and it was like fucked up.
That's cool.
Yeah, it was really cool. It's just like, it makes you feel like a detective. There's a couple other games I can think of that do stuff like this, that were like going outside of the game to get other files or go to websites or whatever is part of it. I'm hesitant to say what they are because I feel like that is a spoiler in and of itself. But yeah, so there also is another Basilisk game that I have not played. I don't know if it came out actually before this, or I don't know if it was released with this as a companion piece, but it is supposed to be like Basilisk 2000 is like the I think it's like the PlayStation follow-up to a Super Nintendo game called Basilisk, also fictional. Okay. And so you can play. I don't think Basilisk, the Super Nintendo one, is an editor one. I think it's a compiled game that never got released or whatever within the kayfabe. So I need to go play that next and continue to get an idea of who these fictional people are. It's just a really interesting way of telling a story. Is like it's like if you read a book that was just a bunch of notes about what the book was going to be.
Yeah, there's something like that. I can't remember the name of it, but I did read something in high school that was very like in the style of you just kind of have to piece together the story based on the notes and like world context. Like there would be like a pamphlet for an event that the person went to, and then it would talk about that event like 10 pages later. So you'd have to like flip back and be like, oh shit, what happened there? Like, and put the world. God, I'm gonna have to figure out what that is because that was such a cool book.
It's not House of Leaves. I've never read House of Leaves, but
no, I know that's the one you're supposed to read if you are a YouTube person.
I've never read it. I don't know anything about it.
Well, I guess you're not a YouTuber.
I
Good
guess
for you.
Thank
Congratulations.
God, dude. Narrowly dodging the allegations of being a YouTuber.
No, but this is really cool. This sounds like an awesome idea for a game. Kind of reminds me of not to go against what you just said of like perhaps spoiling things, but it does remind me kind of like her story and like piecing together the world of the game. It also looks like, I don't know, it reminds me of making games in like bespoke editors back in the mid 2000s, like early 2010s, things like Beyond. If anyone knows what Beyond is, please in the comments send us an email.
What is Beyond? Now I'm curious.
It's like this visual editor that you could use to make games, and it was very straightforward. It had like its own programming language, BYOND, I think is how you spell it. And it was this like very simple sprite art for the most part, multiplayer game engine that you could use to make your own things. I found out about it because I had a substitute teacher I was like, I really like video games and I want to make them one day. And he was like, my brother works at Activision. He started making games using this. And I tried it out for a little while. I never learned how to make games in it super well, mostly because I think our internet was probably too bad to do that. I was still on dial-up in like 2009. But I did end up playing a lot of a Bleach role-playing server game because I was really into anime and only Bleach and nothing else, actually.
Hell yeah.
This just reminds me of that, of like, it's weird. It's almost like if you're playing a game in one window and then you've got like Cheat Engine in a different window next to it. That's almost what this game looks like. Like it's just one screen of like, it's a very cool idea for a game. There's a lot more stuff like this that's like very focused on the experience of messing with games and how that is a game in itself. Like Cheat Engine, finding the address you want for stuff and fiddling with all that. It's like modding games. It's like there's a joy in doing that part of it that just from looking at the interface, like just makes me think like, oh, that is actually a fun thing to do on a computer sometimes. Yeah. Every once in a while.
No, it's an interesting gamification of a thing that I feel like is becoming, as like, I feel like modding when I was very young was this thing that felt kind of like unattainable and weird and esoteric. Yes. And I feel like over the years, like mod tools and even like game engines have just become infinitely more accessible, especially with, the breadth of tutorials that are available for something like Unity or Godot now. It's like, it's become, the bar to entry is lower. It feels more attainable. So I feel like as more people are getting their toes wet in that world. Is that the saying? I felt weird saying getting their toes wet.
People are always getting their toes wet. Usually happens when they get their feet wet too. It's just
I think I combined
part of it.
Dipping their toes and getting their feet wet, but getting their toes wet sounded very weirdly erotic in a way I did not intend. So I'm gonna strike that leave it in the podcast, but strike it from the record.
He never said it.
I never said that. That's not on the record. But anyway, yeah, I feel like it's an interesting space to explore, though. This kind of like I don't know. I feel like liminal space is a term that's become so fucking hyper saturated and overused now.
Absolutely.
But that being
Dude,
said,
I'm in a basement.
Yeah.
Holy smokes.
I'm in the hallway at a motel.
Whoa.
I think that it creates a feeling of liminal space where like I was like scared navigating around. So I didn't think anything was going to like pop out or happen, but it felt like there was, because it wasn't like a curated game experience, because I was like clipping through walls and like, you know, you would like clip into a house and there was something in there in a place that the player couldn't access. It feels like forbidden knowledge. And because of that, it felt like it was that feeling of like going on the internet when you're a kid and you're like finding like a weird website that you're like looking up game secrets from the original Ocarina of Time, and it's like the X-Files music starts playing and it's like, did you know that the developer of Ocarina of Time was actually a ghost? And you're like, what? I didn't know that. And I feel like I shouldn't know that.
You start getting like pop-up notices on your browser, like turn around, Jimmy, and you're like, that's almost my name. How did they know?
How did they know the first letter of my name?
Oh man, and that there's an M and a Y in there.
Fuck.
Did they hack me?
Yeah, no. Exactly. But yeah, it's that feeling of forbidden knowledge, I think, is the really special thing about Basilisk 2000. So it's $2 on itch as well. So like, can you afford not to own this game? That's the real question.
Yeah, it's hurting your bank account by not spending the $2.
Listen,
inflation,
that $2
it's going to be worth nothing in a year.
$2 is going to be worth nothing in 10 years. Buy Basilisk 2000 and it will stay at $2 of value. That's what I'm saying.
Financial investment. Get on it.
Yeah.
itch.io.
This is not financial advice, but I highly recommend you do it.
Also, while you're buying video games about figuring out the people who made a thing, honestly, Beginner's Guide, untouched, fantastic video game. Have you played that, Jeremy? Are you a Beginner's Guide fan?
What the hell is this?
No, you don't. Wow. Davey Reedon, the developer, one of the developers on, oh my goodness.
Stanley Parable?
Thank you. You crushed it. So smart.
Thank you.
Yeah. You haven't played Beginner's Guide. As a person who now makes video games at least more regularly in your spare time, I think the narrative beats of Beginner's Guide, it's like a third person. It's not too dissimilar to like a walking sim or like Stanley Parable, where it's sort of just like a tour through a bunch of this developer's friends' games.
Okay.
But like unfinished projects, and the narrator, who is Davey Reedon in the game and narrated and voiced, I believe, by Davey Reedon as well, like walks you through these games and explains what they're about and the story and everything.
This is ringing a bell. I've definitely heard of this, but I've never played it.
If you haven't played it, my man, again, because of where you are and what you do now, with your spare time, you need to play this game so badly. I'm going to play Basilisk 2000 just on the fact that it's $2 and seems cool. I want you to play it. I don't know what I have to do. If I got to show up with, there's no disc copy. If I got to show at your house with a USB, I'll do it.
Listen, I'm going to need you to EB Games. I'm going to need you to get me a box copy of
Okay, I do have my Edge card. I'll find a way.
I need you to use your GameStop premium points to get me a deal.
It was my birthday, so I do get some extra points to spend on it. They'll give me a 25% discount on used games. Maybe they'll let me use that on the non-existent Beginner's Guide disc copy. Anyway,
beautiful. Yeah, I'll check it out. That sounds awesome.
It's on itch. Dude, please play it. Yeah.
More meta games.
There's not enough.
I want to recommend a game without spoiling anything about it, other than to say that it is firmly in this camp of games.
Please.
I've mentioned it recently on the podcast and before that. Who's Lila? Highly recommend people play Who's Lila. Incredibly underrated, weird, surreal horror game that goes very bizarre places. My recommendation for Who's Lila is that there's more than meets the eye to it. So if you play it initially and you're like, I kind of get what's going on here, it's interesting, but I don't know if I'm going to push through, I would say push through just a little bit harder, and you might have a breakthrough moment.
Okay. Lots of really cool meta games from Jeremy. That's your beat, dude. You just know all these games that are very like esoteric and strange and bizarre and special. Special game.
That's very kind of you to say. I feel like Basilisk 2000 blew up a little bit earlier this year, and I feel like it's one of those games that I feel like is so. I feel like not a lot of people played it, but I feel like a lot of people who make videos about video games on YouTube probably played it. I have not looked it up, but I would bet $10,000 that if I search Basilisk 2000, there'd be a video essay with like 2 million views, and it's called like, this game was never supposed to be finished.
Get your bank account ready, man. I'm checking right now.
Here's my real bet. I'm gonna say it's like 1.2 million views, and it's called like the game that this game was never supposed to be made. Something stupid like that. Something like that.
This is my favorite bit. Okay. By Sagan Hawks. Apologies to Sagan Hawks. The title of the video is The Disturbing Development of a Haunted Game, and it has, I shit you not, 1.5 million views.
Yes! Oh, fuck yeah. Okay, I was pretty close.
It's also an hour and a half long.
Oh yeah, I should have said that. I was gonna say it's definitely at least an hour.
It actually looks pretty cool. I'm just clicking through, and there's like cool motion graphics that they're doing for this.
Listen,
this is actually sick.
Just because I accurately threw a dart into the directly into the bullseye of that target does not mean that it's not a great video. I'm sure it's fucking awesome. Because
I mean, anyone who's into a game like this has got to be pretty artistically inclined. You know what I mean?
I'll probably watch it once I play more Basilisk 2000 and acknowledge the fact that I can't find all of the secrets. So thanks to that YouTube video for existing.
Hell yeah. The disturbing development of a haunted game, and that
the game
again.
That I'm going to send that person an email and say, have you considered a title switch to the game that never should have existed?
I'm trying to make $10,000.
Listen, I made a bet. I got in a little over my head with some guys, and they're going to break my kneecaps.
No, this looks great. Yeah, I'll have a link in the description. itch.io, Basilisk 2000. It's Akuma Kira, I believe is the developer's name, right? Or at least what it is on itch.
Yeah, they go by Kira as far as I've seen. Worked on Lunacid, worked in some capacity on Spooky's Jump Scare Mansion. So they've been cooking.
Hell yeah. Love it. Very cool. I wasn't going to talk about this, but I kind of do want to now. You got me in talking about game mode, and there's a really cool mechanic in this game that was covered earlier this year multiple times by Danny. On the podcast, he talked about Pacific Drive, I think around the time it launched. And also there's an episode of Dear Diary with one of the leads on the game. It's a very cool driving, what's the word? Like crafting survival game. Now, to be clear, I cannot stand that genre of video game. You couldn't force me to play those games anymore. I'm so
survival
done.
crafting games specifically.
Yes, yeah, specifically survival crafting games. I cannot stand punching trees. I'm so over it. Next Fest was like 30 games where it was like, what if you punched a tree but you were a dwarf? And I was like, what if I close the game? Like
I punched my computer monitor until it stops working.
And then I took all the pieces and then went over to my desk and built literally anything else. Like, I completely get the appeal. I'm not trying to smoke on developers who want to make that kind of thing because it's, they do well. People like them. There's a joy to them. And I personally don't have that joy in my heart anymore. I played enough hours of Minecraft, but man, Pacific Drive, I think purely wins on its vibe, its aesthetic. It's like this. It's like you're playing a game in an SCP novel or like, it's sort of like it feels like a Remedy spinoff, like just from its aesthetic, its vibe. You're in this big, dark but also like beautiful world where things are messed up. There's things called remnants that mess with the mind of the person who finds them. There's like shifting paintings and like there's so many weird esoteric things going on. The one reason I want to talk about it, because again Danny has covered it extensively, is just one thing he didn't mention that I think is like a really cool mechanic. It's been months now also, so I think it's okay if we talk about something twice. But there's a mechanic in the game. So your car that you have, because the whole loop of the game, right, it's just a crafting survival sim. So you're like going around shredding up cars. That's another part of it too, is like you're not hitting trees, you're shredding cars with like a shredder, literally, not the Ninja Turtles guy, but like a, spinning saw disc. And like you take the pieces and you use them to upgrade your car, because the whole reason is you're trying to like finish these narrative goals for these characters that exist in the world that meet you and are trying to help you escape. Like your goal is to escape the zone that you're stuck in, and you use the car to get to where you need to be. And the car, because it's like sentient to an extent, has these things that happen to it called quirks. This was the coolest thing to me. These quirks are not too dissimilar to like errors or issues that you have in your own car. So there was a thing that happened to me while I was playing the game where while I was driving around, every time I'd get out of my car and come back, my right driver's side door was open. Or passenger side door, it was open. And I was always like, why is it open? Is there like a ghost messing with my car or someone following me? And then I figured out eventually over time that every time I shifted the car into park, the door opened.
Oh.
And I was like, that's weird. How do I fix that? Like, I can't replace the door to fix that. That didn't solve it. There's a computer in the garage. Every time you finish a loop or like a trek, you get warped back to the garage where you can like fix your car and replace the battery and everything, or charge the battery. And there's a computer that you can go to that has these lists of things, and you basically have to guess what's causing this quirk on your car. So like, it'll be a list of things like engine on causes like door open. And if you guess it right, you can fix the quirk with a certain resource. And if you keep guessing it wrong, I think you just get stuck with the quirk. Like your car just is like that forever. And I thought that was really interesting because it takes like the gameplay of driving a car and like the obvious maintenance that comes with that in real life, and turns that into a game mechanic, something that you need to watch out for. And it plays into the like sentient nature of the car, how it can just have like a mood and it just be tired of you shifting into park, or it could be tired of you going too fast through stuff or hitting too many trees, like just little things like that. I thought that was a very, very cool mechanic. It hasn't popped up too many times for me. It's like a kind of rare thing, or maybe it has and I just can't tell that it's happening every time until I piece together what the problem is. But I was like, that is such an interesting spin on that kind of gameplay.
That's really cool because I haven't played Pacific Drive, but there are so many systems going on with the car from what I've seen. Like there's so many internal pieces of logic to the car, so it's very interesting to have it be like there's a under the hood, no pun intended because it's a car game, like switchboard, and they're just like plugging different switches into different ports and stuff and making like associating them. That's cool. That game seems really interesting. I think I'd really like it.
Yeah, for sure. It's such a weird approach to a genre that, again, I'm just so tired of. But it's found a way to package it and sell it to me that just feels more fun. I don't know. I think also part of it is getting around in those games sucks. Like, no matter what you do, Minecraft, anything, most of the time you're walking between locations and it takes a really long time and it's unfun. But here, like, the challenge is getting around, one, driving, dodging all of the stuff on the road because there's like rocks and random travelers. They're like dummies standing around, or like mannequins standing around that like mess with you. So there's challenges on the road that add a level of difficulty, because not just driving from point A to point B, you still have to like be aware of your surroundings, and you can get messed with, and it could be really funny. It could be really frustrating, but it could be really funny. I just think more games need to give us movement options that aren't walking and riding a horse. Take me back to when every game was driving a car for no reason. I kind of miss it a little bit.
When I played Enshrouded with my friends, it obviously was just taking the glider mechanic from Breath of the Wild. Like, it wasn't doing anything radically different. It was literally just aping a popular mechanic. But the interesting thing about Enshrouded was that the world was very, because Enshrouded is basically just like Valheim, but with some different tweaks. It has terrain deformation and kind of different theming and stuff. But in terms of like gameplay loop, it's very much also Enshrouded is a curated world versus the procedural generation of Valheim, which I think is interesting. But other than that, very, very similar loop of like go out, adventure a little bit, get some stuff, come back to base. But the world of Enshrouded was very vertically stacked. So like your base, like in the starting area where most people I assume build, is kind of at the top of this cliff, and looking out over that you can see kind of like the first few starting zones in the distance. So every time you come back to base and you're like, all right, let's go, once you get the glider, you're just fucking run and like jump off the cliff. So it feels like this kind of explosive, visceral, kinetic start to every little outing, because you're like, you're not like, all right, let's walk the same path we've walked 6,000 times. Nope. There's always an element of like, oh yeah, this is the fun part where we get to like jump off the cliff.
Yeah, that's awesome. And it also, when you want to do that again later, because of the verticality of the design, like you get to climb more often, and like they can design around the fact that players probably want to do that.
Yeah.
Give you viewpoints, give you like breaks in the tree line so you can see things to go to. And yeah, it's just way more interesting, I think, design wise, than just doing like ride on a horse, ride on a bear. Like, Horizon Zero Dawn and Forbidden West, I think, are well constructed games with good mechanics and a lot to them. But getting around in those games is just like the horse that's a robot, or get the robot that's a crocodile and ride it. And like eventually later in the game you get some interesting mounts that you can use, but for the most part it's just because it's all just walking slightly faster.
Dude, I said this last week when I was playing Dark Souls 3, but I've been playing Dark Souls 2 now because I beat 3. And going back to the Souls games after playing Elden Ring, even though I love Elden Ring, it's like I'm just like so fucking burnt out on open worlds. Like, it's so nice to just have like a tight little dungeon corridor, and it's like, yeah, you just, you want to go left or right? You're like, wow, what a range of possibilities. Like, it's like, I don't need an open world. I just need like a good level sometimes, I don't know. Sometimes I don't want to like ride torrent my horse for 6 miles just to get anywhere.
I agree. I have the same problem with Star Wars Outlaws too. Like,
I've
been playing more of that. The game has gotten so much better the more you play it. Like,
good.
Constantly is adding these new mechanics, like these new skills that are hidden behind narrative beats when you meet new characters. And like, it's, if you take your time, go slow and like actually talk to people, there's so many cool moments. But the one flaw it has, at least right now, it looks like there's more vehicles that you unlock later on, like ground vehicles. But the worst thing is it takes like 4 minutes to drive everywhere. Like, oh, go to the other side of the map. And I'm like, can I go somewhere closer? Like a closer option. And then when you're driving around, there's like enemies that are just, they get alerted to you all the time if you're not in their faction. I think the Pike is the first area. They're like the enemies. They're called Pike or Pikes. And they just like will start blasting at you. And it's like, man, I'm just trying to drive around. Leave me alone. Like, stop chasing me. I just want to get to my, I'm sure there's a difficulty setting, but yeah, it's open world games, man. So I totally agree with you. There's way too much going between places. Like for a medium that is all about distracting you from the realities of life, why are the biggest, most popular video games about what if you had to drive to work all the time?
It's a very good point. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, there's like, there was, I think there was a time and place where it was a very intoxicating and alluring fantasy when like, because I used to play Mario Kart 64 with my brother, and all we would try to do once we beat all the cups was just try to get out of the tracks and see if there was more to the levels and stuff, So then like whatever Grand Theft Auto 3 comes along into our lives, and all of a sudden it's like, oh my God. I remember my parents were like, you can't get Grand Theft Auto 3 because it's like, you're like killing sex workers. And I was like,
you're like, what do you mean? You just drive off ramps in your car that you stole.
I literally was like, listen, I won't do that. I just want to explore. I just want to drive my little car around unrestrained. And like, doesn't that sound nice? Doesn't that sound like a nice little adventure for kids? So
I want to use my 40 pages of scrawled cheat codes that I got off GameFAQs, Mom. I can make him have a big head and have a jetpack.
I still remember. I'll never forget R1, R2, L1, R2, left down, right up. That's the weapons cheat.
Oh, all weapons?
Yeah,
nice.
Or like some chunk of all the weapons. Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I just feel like, we talked about this a little bit, but it just feels like the open world thing has just become like a crutch at this point or something. It doesn't feel like it's being, I haven't seen a lot of people do very interesting or innovative things within that. It kind of just feels like it's the background radiation of a lot of AAA games now. So
yeah, just makes it easier to appeal to a lot of people, right? Like you can be like, oh, if you don't want to do the main quest town stuff, don't worry. There's a whole forest over here. You can hunt animals. Isn't that fun? And you're like, no, like sometimes.
Yeah.
Give me more things to do in a tighter space. I want density, baby. I want 400, whatever.
Amen. Well, anyway. Should we
yes.
Should we transition into either the best or the dumbest idea that's ever been done on this podcast?
I think this is fantastic. I'm very excited to do this. Video games are so over, baby. It's, as everyone knows, it is the time for the season of video game films. They've all done incredibly well, critically and financially.
They're all great. Roger Ebert famously loved not only video games, but video game movies.
That her favorite. He loves those movies. They're great. Super Mario Bros. Movie. I'm sure he loved that one.
Can we look up his review?
Yes,
of Super
can
Mario
we?
Brothers movie? Yeah,
we need
Roger
to.
Ebert.
I love this episode where we're looking up other people's thoughts on things and laughing at them.
Listen, what is a podcast if not just hanging? Okay, so this is the new Super Mario Brothers movie, also called the Super Mario Brothers. Come on. Can I just, for the record though, Brian Tallarico gave the new Super Mario Bros. Movie 1.5
Brian Tallarico.
stars. Yeah,
Tommy's
Roger Ebert is, I don't know if it's Tommy's brother, but someone has to keep RogerEbert.com going.
Yeah, true. He should just still be writing the reviews.
Okay. I can't find his review, but I did find a quote that says Roger Ebert declared the Super Mario Bros. Movie from 1993 a complete waste of time and money.
Damn. I wonder how he'd feel now.
Let me just add 1993 to the search, and if we can't dig it up, then yeah, it's not coming up. I'll find it at another time.
That's Nintendo erasure. They've had enough of this shit. Stop spoiling our good name. Mario was
got
so
scoured
bad.
from the internet. When Ebert passed away, they were like, yeah, okay, so can we get that review taken down?
We have Chris Pratt starring in our own new movie soon. We need to save its good name. You know how much everyone loves Mario.
And now they're up to 1.5 stars. Look at how far they've come. Jesse, what do you say we make our own 1.5 star movie?
That's aiming high, honestly. I'll be surprised if we could pull that off.
Okay,
Let's
so
do
now
it.
should we read off everything that's contained here for the listeners, or should we just roll and see where it ends up?
Let's just say we've got some selections here. We have 14 games to pick from. We're going to spin the wheel one time for a game, and then we're going to spin the wheel again for a director or genre, and we'll have to figure out how to make a movie that puts those two things together. We're making a video game sandwich. That's not a sandwich. It's only two pieces. Open face video game sandwich.
Open face video game sandwich covered in the gravy of our passion for video games.
That's right. Covered in our gravy. All right.
Covered in our gravy. All right, let's fucking spin this. Let's see where it ends up. If I just want to say we have the right to veto if it lands on Resident Evil horror, because there's nothing there.
Yeah, I don't know how you may even make that happen. It's not a horror game series. It's an action game series. I played Resident Evil 5.
That's so true. That's a really good point, dude.
What are we getting
All right, let's
here?
roll.
Diablo for
Okay.
our game category. And what
Okay, good start.
style of movie is Diablo going to have to fit
Who
in?
is making this, or what style of Diablo
Yes.
movie? Now, Diablo's a controversial
Oh.
choice.
Very controversial.
Buddy Cop Diablo.
Yeah.
Okay, I think we could work with that.
Okay.
Okay. Should we? Now, here's the thing. Do we want to roll like a couple and pick our favorite of like 2 or 3, or do we just want to go straight for
We
Diablo?
just run with
Buddy
it.
Cop?
If it doesn't work, then we'll just say whatever. Move on.
Then we'll just
Try
roll
another
again.
one.
We'll just roll
Yeah,
again.
exactly.
You're right. We'll see if, because you know what? Sometimes lightning strikes, and sometimes it whatever the opposite, it doesn't strike. Okay, Diablo. That's as the old saying goes. Sometimes
Everyone
it strikes.
always says it.
Sometimes it
Sometimes
does
it
not
don't.
strike.
Sometimes it don't.
Okay, Diablo. Diablo is a controversial choice for a video game movie because I feel
Why
like
is
it does not have a lot of narrative heat in the present day. I think that Diablo 4 came out and people were like, I love the looting, and they just liked the looting, which like, to be fair, everyone has always loved the looting about Diablo. But I feel like Diablo 2 had some real like narrative heft to it. You know what I mean? Like I feel like that's the era of Diablo we need to evoke to get people back on board with this as a multi-billion-dollar franchise IP.
I can see it for sure.
What does
Yeah.
a Diablo movie need? I think looting is definitely got to be.
It needs some looting. It needs
Yeah.
some magic. It needs demons at some
It needs
point.
demons. Okay, so it's like about like Christian occult. It's about like Baal and like so it's about hell. Okay, so
Yeah.
let's say demons, hell,
And I guess
or,
the
like,
direction too is where do we want to go? Because it's a buddy cop.
Okay, yeah, the
two
buddy cop
strong
thing is important.
characters. What are they doing? What's the buddy cop?
Okay.
What are they investigating?
Okay, so here's a pitch. We've got a buddy cop. An essential ingredient of the buddy cop is you've got your Jackie Chan and you've got your Chris Tucker. They're opposites. They're different places on the spectrum of character. So you need to have it's like a battery that charges. You need a negative and a positive terminal. So I think Diablo buddy cop. You need like a big.
Ooh.
Okay, what do you got?
You need a demon and like a regular like warrior guy, like a warrior class Diablo looter guy, and like a demon from hell that team up. They hate each other. They're from different departments. This one's from the department in Demon Brooklyn, and this one's from the department in regular New York. And they hate each other. And they got to solve a crime that was committed on sacred ground between the two parties.
Okay. All right. So there is a portal to hell. Okay. Does this take place in the real world? Diablo does not take place in the real world, but
Where's the town above the dungeons? Is that not the real world?
well, it's not like New York.
Well, not like Earth, the real world. Yeah, of course. It's not. You don't remember the town in Westminster in the UK that had a bunch of dungeons under it? You don't remember that? There's a whole news story about
I
it.
do remember that. We could set it there. So here's the thing: is like this is a video game movie. Video game movies, it doesn't need to adhere very strictly to like the Mortal Kombat movie or like the Street Fighter movie. They did all sorts of weird shit that was like not in the games and stuff. So I feel like we can get a little loose with this. Okay, so I was thinking the same thing. Like one of the characters is totally like the demon hunting warrior, like meathead, like a Patrick Warburton kind guy, and he's like no fucking nonsense. I think I was going to say warrior and necromancer, but I like your idea of the demon being the other guy in the buddy cop duo. I think the demon is like, he decides that the demons are bad, and he comes to the police, which are like the
this
band
is the worst.
This is the rogue encampment. He comes to the rogue encampment, and he's like, listen, or he comes to like the Luke Ghislaine police department, and so I'm thinking the demon is like a neurotic Woody Allen type. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Like he's like he's the whatever the opposite of our big strong warrior guy is, right? So he comes to the Luke Ghislaine police department and is like, there's gonna be the demons are up to something. And I will listen. If you grant me asylum, I will help you bring down the demon organization.
I like it. I just think it works better if the demon is also an officer, and like
the demon is an officer at the start of the film.
Yes, like they're both parts of separate departments. Because I like your Jackie Chan Chris Tucker crossover. It makes it a little bit funny. But also, I think it works because they're part of two departments that don't normally get along, which works for Diablo because the demons and the humans hate each other by nature. So if the demon is also a cop, but they have to work together because there's like a crime that both parties want to stop, or like maybe there's rogue. Like I like the idea of like there's a rogue group of demons that are doing something that Lilith didn't sign off on.
Okay, wait. So hold on. Back up. So So in this world, there are good demons.
In this world, there's still bad demons. But
they have a police department.
Yeah, of course.
Okay. But so the demon police are policing affairs in the demon world. But if a demon in a normal circumstance. Okay, here we go. This is where the energy's at. In normal circumstances, the demon police are still demons, and if they ran into the human police, they'd be like, I'm going to rip your throat out because we're demons and that's what we do, right?
Exactly.
But this is not normal circumstances. The demons are going to sever the portal between worlds is going to be ripped open, and demons will pour into the normal world, and it will disrupt both the demon and the human worlds. And so the demon police, they need to work together with the Patrick Warburton NYPD of Diablo, the New York Police Diablo Department, and they need to. It's the extenuating circumstances why they're coming together. I think that's what we're working with here.
Is your name Gordon Ramsay? Because you're cooking, brother. That's well done.
I'm in the kitchen, baby. Okay, so I like that. So the departments, they're okay. So the movie starts and we're like Patrick Warburton. I don't think it's actually Patrick Warburton, but that's the energy I'm getting from this guy.
Hey, demon. Hey, demon.
He's tackling like a low level demon on the streets, and he's like cuffing him, and he takes him just a normal day of work, takes him down, books him. His supervisor calls him in. He's like, listen, hey, Patrick. His name's Patrick. Patrick plays a cop named Patrick.
Don't want to mess him up while he's doing his voice acting.
He might get confused. If you call him Jerry, he might get confused. That's not his name.
Exactly. Yeah.
So his superiors call him down. They're like, hey, listen, Mickelson wants to see you in his office. He goes into the office, sits down.
Who plays Mickelson?
Oh, that's a really good question.
Danny DeVito, right?
It's Danny DeVito.
It's a little horned-hooved guy.
No,
hey, what are you doing, Warburton?
Danny DeVito play. Let me push. Let's recast that role because Danny DeVito fits perfectly in the role I'm about to reveal next.
Oh shit.
Okay, so the commissioner is like, who plays Commissioner Gordon?
Which one?
In the recent Batmans, it's Gary Oldman, isn't it?
Oh, that's not the recent one. Yes,
whatever.
But yes.
I'm 33. All right, relax.
I'm almost 30. I'm allowed to also know this stuff.
That's true. Okay, so he comes in. We got Commissioner Gordon is in there from Batman. He's sitting down. He's like, "Listen, we got a real special. You've been a great cop for years. They're not called. You've been a great paladin for years.
Yes.
And I have a special assignment for you." And then there's another chair next to him. The chair swivels around, and it's Danny DeVito. He's the commissioner of the demon police.
Oh shit!
And he's there, and he's like, "What is this?" Patrick is like, "What's this demon doing here? Like, get him the fuck out of here. Someone lock him up." And he's like, "No. Listen, the demon world is about to erupt into the human world, and he's the only one who can stop it."
I love this idea. We're literally making the worst Diablo movie you can ever make.
But video game movies are bad. They're supposed to be bad.
No, totally, absolutely. I don't disagree. I think this has nothing to do with Diablo.
Listen, it's
but that's why I like it.
Par for the course, I would say.
Yeah, true.
We're not trying to get a hole in one. we're just two aspiring screenwriters. We're just trying to get our
We're in
toes
Hollywood.
wet.
We're trying to dip our toes in, man. We're
just trying to get our toes into that pool of Hollywood.
That's right.
Okay, so Danny DeVito is, I can't do a Danny DeVito voice, but he's like, we gotta the demons. I gotta work together with the demons. No wait, he is a demon. Whatever, it doesn't fucking matter. So he assigns a demon cop to work with Patrick Warburton. Now, who's playing the demon that works with Patrick Warburton?
Dana Carvey.
Dana Carvey.
Yep.
Okay. Are we thinking like, is this like a time traveling fan cast where like it's young Dana Carvey or present day Dana Carvey?
I don't know what present day Dana Carvey sounds like anymore.
Neither. Does he even act anymore? What's he up to?
I don't know.
Okay, now I'm reconsidering our Patrick Warburton casting, and I'm thinking.
Wait, who were you thinking for Mordecai? That's what I have named the demon officer that works with him now.
You've named him Mordecai.
It has to be Mordecai. I just like it.
I don't know, like someone. It has to be someone silly to like.
Timothy Chalamet. No.
No, the opposite of Timothy Chalamet. It needs to be someone. Okay, no, here we go. I've got it actually. It's Adam Sandler.
Oh my fucking God. This sinewy demon man who's also a detective working with Patrick Warburton is Adam Sandler. And he's doing the
little
like,
Nicky.
Yes.
He's reprising.
We gotta go kill the evil demons.
He's reprising, not in name, but he's embodying a reprisal of his role as Little Nicky. He's been to hell before. He knows the ropes.
People at the department, they call me Small Nicholas. Hello,
Small Nicholas. Yeah, okay, so it's Patrick
Legally
Warburton,
distinct.
and it's Adam Sandler, and they're a buddy cop, and they have to go. I feel like honestly, buddy cop movies always kind of fall off towards the end anyway. Like, who could you tell me the name of the villain from Rush Hour? I bet you couldn't.
The third one is Jackie Chan's brother. In the movie.
That's weirdly specific, but
sorry, that's all I've got. I don't know. That's
okay. No, I'm proud of you for remembering that. It's insanely.
I tried really hard.
I would say that the rest of I feel like we've got the formula here, and the rest of the movie almost doesn't matter.
Yep, you could do whatever you want. You just got to do polls from the Diablo series, like Lilith shows up for 5 minutes.
Exactly, Bale is here.
Yep, someone does a spell at some point. Maybe two of them.
I feel like the other important thing about a video game movie adaptation is just doing the fucking bare minimum like 2023 Mario movie bullshit where they're like, here's a Diablo health potion. Here's a guy casting a spell you might remember. Here's a necromancer. Oh, someone died. He's gonna turn them into a skeleton. Just like just little things that make the audience's little monkey brains light up and be like, I point at the screen and clap their hands.
ATST. Like, literally
exactly.
Just that.
They just got to recognize the thing on the screen, and okay, that's Diablo Buddy Cop. I feel like that's as far as we're gonna get with that one for now.
That's all you need.
I feel like we put a pin in that. Any title ideas before we move on to the next role?
Ooh,
I mean, it has to be like Diablo something.
It's got to be like Diablo Immortal or something, right?
It's gonna be like Diablo Worlds or something really shitty and innocuous.
The Departed. Because they're dead.
Something about like department, like because they're cops, like the like I still like it would be like NYPD and it's like New York Police Diablo. It's something like that. Something in that ballpark.
Diablo Hell Department.
Yeah, and NYPD, and the D is Diablo. Okay, I feel like this idea is out of gas, but I feel like
we got everything we had in it.
I feel like we burned pretty hot. That was a good warm up.
That was a great warm up.
Diablo Buddy Cop, $1 billion idea.
Locked in. Jerry Bruckheimer producing.
Let's spin that wheel, baby. I'm psyched.
Spin that wheel. What game are we getting this
buzz.
time? Oh boy, Dark Souls is the game.
Dark Souls. Okay, great.
And the genre and/or director.
I feel like any genre is bad for this.
Film noir. Okay, hold on.
Okay.
That seems like you could make it work.
I think there's potential here. All right, so film noir. So it's got to be.
We're investigating another crime. No, I guess you don't have to, but you kind of do.
Film noir can also be like. The crime is sort of like it's a loose wrapper for more human level drama, like Double Indemnity he's not a cop, he's an insurance adjuster. It's like a film noir about an insurance adjuster. But what the movie is really about is him committing a crime with a lady that he wants to have sex with by killing her husband. That's the plot of the movie. So it doesn't. They don't have to be. They could be doing a crime. They could be investigating the heart of darkness and humanity.
Yep.
Now, Dark Souls is a weird one. I was thinking a lot about Dark Souls when we put it on the list here, because the way that I play Dark Souls games is some people, they get really into the lore, they read everything, and they're like, oh, that's the soul of the demon that locks the other demon in the demon realm or whatever. This is just Diablo again. But the way I play Dark Souls is like I don't read anything. I just fight my way to the end, and then I get to the end, and they're like, "This is him. It's the king who we've spoken for 40." And I'm like, I've never heard of this guy. You've mentioned him because I've never heard of him in my life.
Dude, his name was etched on the back of my boots. I just didn't read them. I should have seen this coming.
So I'm thinking, okay, so I'm thinking like an incomprehensible story is one element of this. I'm also thinking that like you got to have like the movie starts with like a character who's like mumbling to the main, you know what I mean, like being a creepy little guy. They're like, "You're fucked," and you know what I mean.
That's it.
And then
you're fucked.
He just says, he says like, "Oh, you're here in this fucked up place, and it's over for you." So
it does that like film noir. Like, I met a dame who was 6 feet tall, and she was a tall glass of water, and
it's just patches.
It's just I met a dame.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Full of faith.
Dark Souls film noir. That's a really tough combo, honestly.
I think you can make it work if you do like but again, it's just another investigation of like something that happened, then it turns into like a story about the hard knocks of a guy. Maybe we. Do you feel like there's enough for this one to go on, or you want to try
I feel like we re-roll, because I feel like Dark Souls film noir is too close to Diablo Buddy Cop, and I feel like Diablo Buddy Cop was
I feel like we got everything we had out of a Buddy Cop investigation story.
Especially because Dark Souls is kind of like dark, occulty, like demons and stuff. And
all right, so you meet Lilith. You play as a guy voiced by Patrick.
Okay, so Patrick Warburton is the main character.
Danny DeVito shows up.
Danny DeVito is there.
Adam Sandler is Solaire.
I think Adam Sandler was
an
inspired casting choice.
That was honestly, you are the who are the brothers? They did the movie recently, Uncut Gems.
Oh, the Safdie brothers.
You are the Ben Safdie of this chat.
Thank you, and you're the other Safdie brother whose name I forget.
Is there another one? Who's to say? He's not in movies. All right, re-rolling. The game we got this time is Yakuza. Okay, another crime one. I feel like we might have a theme here.
Okay, maybe we should. Fuck. Let's see what it lands on. I might re-roll if we get another crime one, unless it's like Yakuza Christmas movie, and then we'll see what we can do.
Did we put Christmas movie on here?
No, but it would have been great.
No, we didn't, but we should have. Okay, no ads for you, Wheel Decide. Sorry, I have ads on though. And the game category is, genre for the movie category. Tarantino. That's just Yakuza.
Okay, we cannot do Tarantino Yakuza. Right. That's just Yakuza.
Yeah. All right. One more.
Sorry, Yakuza fans. And I like Tarantino a lot, but Yakuza is too well fitting for it.
Okay. Game this time, Zelda.
Okay. Good start. It's not about crime.
Genre. Zelda horror.
Horror. Okay. We can work with this.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. I'm thinking like when you go down the well in Ocarina of Time and there's the Redeads, there's something there, right?
Oh, the sad, like dehydrated guys who haven't had a drink
the
of
beef
water.
jerky men who like hop on your back. Okay, so there's that. What else is like scary about Zelda? There's like the moon crashing down in Majora's Mask. That's like a fucking scary.
Majora's Mask in itself is a terrifying concept for a movie.
Okay. That's true. Majora's Mask there's a world in which we just do a Majora's Mask adaptation.
Yeah.
That's
I think
possible.
You got to sauce it up a little bit.
Yeah.
You
can't just do a straight rip of it. Yeah. So, let's see. Majora's.
Yeah, I think stick with the framework of Majora's Mask. I like that. I think that's good. It's like an end of the world movie with a little flavor on it.
I like the time loop element of it too. I think that
for sure
has a lot of sauce. What else is scary about Zelda?
The new one has that like underground area.
Oh yeah, that's true. That's true. I got bored of that game though, so
you didn't like solving puzzles with the same 4 pieces for 20 hours?
It was really great at first, and then it died for me. All right, so I'm thinking another thing that's scary about Zelda is kind of the like kabuki theater over the topness a lot of the characters you meet. Like you meet the Happy Mask guy, and he's just like so fucking in your face and scary. So I'm thinking this is like we have Link in a regular. He's like in Hyrule. It takes place in Hyrule, but it's like an original story in Hyrule. Okay. Now this is why I was hesitant about putting Zelda on the list. Is every Zelda game boils down to the exact same story building block pieces, which is that eventually you're working your way towards killing Ganondorf. So can we get away from that? Here I've got it. Okay. It is a Lovecraft inspired thing where Link is trying to get the Triforce, but the Triforce it's a power so great that the last person who got a piece of the Triforce, even just one piece, it drove him to madness, right? Okay. So the story starts and it's Link, and they're like, it starts in media res, where we start with Link. He's on it. He's at the tail end of another adventure, and he's like, finally, he's covered in blood. He's covered in hobgoblin blood, and he's like, finally, we've arrived at the Temple of Time, and I'm about to get the first piece of the Triforce. And he gets it. He opens up the room where the last guy who had it was, and there's like, the guy is like, there's like writing all over the walls, and it's like a David Fincher Zodiac horror mystery about the Triforce and how it drives you insane. But he needs the Triforce to save the world. That's what I'm thinking.
I dig it. How does the sort of like ruins the person who gets it? Like it's like a ring from Lord of the Rings. It's like the ring. It's sort of similar thing, right? That you're sort of arguing like,
yeah, like drives you. What are the three pieces of the Triforce in Zelda are like? They're all like really innocuous.
Wisdom,
things.
Power, and something.
Love or something.
Love, yeah.
Like how
Planet Ass.
How would love fucking drive you insane?
Is it just strength or power? Is it power, wisdom, love?
Power, wisdom, and courage.
Courage.
Okay. So,
Wizard of Oz ass. Sorry.
Okay, so here's what we do. So I think Ganondorf has the Triforce of Power, and at some point in the movie, Link will have to confront him. But I think the Triforce he gets in the beginning is wisdom, because I think courage is too easy. Like a hero needs to be fallible. Courage, we'll put a pin in that for now. But he gets the Triforce of wisdom, and he goes into the room where the last guy who had it, and there's like the guy's like dead in there, and all over the walls is written, "I know too much." Like it's like he was too wise.
He's haunted by his own knowledge.
He knew everything, and then so Link is like goes back to the police department to Commissioner Gordon. No, okay.
Adam Sandler's there. No.
Adam Sandler is there. Adam Sandler plays a Deku shrub. No, so he gets the Triforce of Wisdom. Actually, why is Adam Sandler fit for every role? He'd be great as Link, more movies. I think Adam Sandler is really the key to unlocking all of these films.
Honestly, he works so well in Pixels. He could work great in this. I did like your mention of the masks being like kind of horrifying. Like every time Link switched masks or got one for the first time in Majora's Mask, doesn't it have that terrible animation where he's like, ah!
Yeah,
like
he screams in pain. Yeah, that's good.
So I think that should be like a central thing. Right?
So I think that he's, I don't know why I keep feeling like I'm writing a cop movie. I was going to say he goes undercover as like a Goron or as like a Zora guy, but I'm thinking that's part of it is like, you know what? This it can be a little crime adjacent because in my mind this is becoming like a Fincher horror mystery, like a Zodiac or like a Seven. So it's like he's trying to track down Ganondorf, and in order to track down Ganondorf, in order to penetrate the impenetrable mind of a Triforce holder, he too has to get the Triforce of Wisdom, and he has to immerse himself in the overwhelming badness of infinite wisdom. And so he's like going insane, and maybe he like looks all fucked up, so he's always wearing masks to like hide his fucked up face.
Vanilla Sky style.
Yeah. And Tom Cruise plays him.
Yeah, Zelda, Link at the end, it's just like, tech support!
Yeah.
I don't know if you need Ganon like that.
Okay.
I think the best Zelda stories are the ones that don't have Ganon.
Okay, wait, here we go. Here we go. Now we're cooking. What about we do a Super Mario RPG and Ganon?
Ooh, and Ganon's on your side?
Is an ally. Begrudging. He's played by Patrick Warburton. That's really.
And he's on your side because you guys don't go together, but there's a crime you have to solve. We're just keep doing the same movie, baby.
No, it's not a crime. It's it has to be like a world-ending circumstance, because I mean again, we're getting back to the Diablo thing, but I do feel like that's what Zelda games are always about, is like the kingdom.
You could just have Ganon be not a character that Zelda or Link is like aware of. Just have him be like a snively guy. Like he wants to work with Link to go do this thing. Like, oh, we have to go collect the 3 Triforce pieces or whatever, or find one of them, and Ganon's like tricking him.
Like it's like the Mummy, where he's gonna like lock him in the treasure room or something.
Yeah,
or like
Link's,
like
he's a
Indiana
nice
Jones
kid
at the beginning, where he's like, throw me the idol, and he's like, okay, and he throws it to him, and he's like, sorry dude, you're fucked.
Yeah, good luck in the hole, idiot.
Okay, so I like that. I think that's okay. So now we're cooking. This is a nice twist on the Zelda formula, is we're not just adhering to tropes, we're breaking free of them, we're transcending.
Right.
So Ganondorf is an ally. Okay, so maybe it's an adventuring party. Maybe we get Zelda in the mix too. Maybe it's Link, Zelda, and Ganondorf are a trio, and they're setting out to get the remaining pieces of the Triforce before some other evil force, some greater evil, gets a hold of them and destroys Hyrule. I think.
So what about this is scary?
So the thing that I think is scary about that's a great question. I think.
We've come up with a good like Zelda movie story, but
you're right. You're right. It's not scary yet. Okay,
Yeah.
This is what I think is scary about it. The Triforce is a Lovecraftian relic that drives people to madness, but they have to use it. And so there's like a Gollum thing where like Link throughout the film is like, he's like losing his shit, like one night he's like holding it and he's like staring into it and his like eyes are all fucking wide and bloodshot. He's doing Gollum voice. And then Zelda comes over and she's like, Link, are you okay? And he like turns around and he's fucking all like Bilbo Baggins in her face, So there's like,
I like it. It's like a body horror movie.
Yeah. Like he's like, it's taking him over and there's some sort of like, he's like possessed by it. So because Link is like
instead of Link, hold on. What if instead of Link being the one who really wants the Triforce piece, it's their friend Ganon who really wants the Triforce pieces. And when he gets all of them, he turns into the evil son of a bitch that we all know from the video games. The video games. Everyone talks about them. Ocarina of Time. So that's how we get to like traditional Ganon, but through the whole movie, he's like their friend chilling with them and stuff. And he's like, I'll keep the pieces. They corrupt your mind. Link, I don't want that to happen to you because we're best pals. And then he gets body horrored over time and becomes like the monster.
So the viewer is led to believe that he's turned over a new leaf throughout the film. And then the reveal is like the halfway, 2/3 into the movie, he's just like, there's an incorruptible or like there's a thing inside of him that will never be good, and that he's really just selfish, turns into a literal monster.
And over time, like he keeps sort of transforming, and Link has to keep fighting like a scary monster or something shows up in the dark and scares the hell out of him. And it's Ganon transforming, but they don't know it's him because there's like some calamitous event that happens and they lose track of him and he shows up and he's the monster.
Okay, I think that's good. I think they're like camping out on the trail one night, and Ganondorf's gone missing, and in the distance they see like a fucking horrendous pig man, and they're like, "Whoa, has he been like transforming?"
It's just the like N64 or like the SNES Pigman Ganon. It's
just a normal pig man, not even a bad one. Yeah. Okay. So I think the thing that's horror about it is also that there is a force, that they are an antagonistic force that is so like Lovecraftian, so like pervasively horrifying that even Ganondorf is like, I need to like work with Link, my old nemesis, because there is something so dire that it requires us to come together, not unlike a demon in Patrick Warburton in the Diablo universe.
Something that's like transforming in the same way that the Triforce transforms the people, the place where the Triforce's pieces are being kept, the people who live around that piece.
Oh, that's good.
Like, messed up and turning into zombies and shit, right?
Okay. So this is like a Lovecraft Zelda horror, and okay.
They're all fish people. They normally are, but
like they're just
now they're scary.
The Zora Kingdom is just Innsmouth. Okay, that's great. So the place where they're going to get the Triforce is there's like radiation leak basically, and everyone's all fucked up. So it's like a neighboring kingdom. It's like Hyrule, but it's like a different place, like a different kingdom, big town. And when they get there, everything is all like Silent Hill fucked up, and like the people are insane, and there's just like people are like tearing each other apart and stuff. And even Ganondorf, who's like normally evil, is like, this is pretty fucked up, man. Okay. I think
he's voiced by Patrick Warburton.
No. And he's voiced by Patrick Warburton, of course. All right. I think I feel pretty good about that movie.
Yeah, I could watch that. Doesn't even have to be Legend of Zelda themed. I'd just watch that. It sounds fun.
I would just watch that with any number of characters.
Yeah. Crash
All right.
Bandicoot.
Put that one in the bank. Let's roll again.
I like that. All right. For the game this time, we've got Among Us.
Okay. I don't know anything about Among Us, but I know
not
enough
much
about
to
Among
it.
Us.
And for the genre, we got musical.
Oh my God. I feel like this one's all
What are your
you,
thoughts?
baby.
Reroll? You don't know? You don't want to do an Among Us musical? You don't have any
No,
bits
it's not.
for that?
It's not that I don't want to do it. It's that I have never played Among Us and I don't watch musicals. But
Yeah.
that notwithstanding, I feel like you have played Among Us and you love musicals.
I do. It's true. I think you just do like a musical whodunit. You just go all in on it. Like
Yeah.
songs, whatever. Have the killer
Now-
be a secret thing.
I'm not going to make you sing a song that hasn't been written yet, but just for sake of argument, could you give me like a couple titles of some of the musical numbers that might appear in the Among Us musical?
Yeah. Red
Some
and
famous
Blue,
numbers.
but it's What's Inside of You would be one of the songs.
Okay, that's really good.
Yeah. You do Black and Yellow, and it's a rap number based on the Black and Yellow song by
It's
Wiz
just all
Khalifa.
color themed songs.
Of course, yeah.
Okay.
Dude, one is the loneliest number, and it's blue, alone in a room, but like light blue, because people don't
Yep.
like him because he's light
Okay,
blue.
what about this? There's a scene where the imposter gets like, you know how in like a musical, like a Broadway musical, they'll do the house lights go down and the
Yeah,
stage lights go
spotlight.
down, and there's a
Yep.
spotlight on one person, and they do like a soliloquy.
Yep.
I'm thinking we do like a song called I'm the imposter, and the
Yes.
imposter comes forward to the front of the stage, and he does a musical number about yeah, what is is the imposter an alien in Among Us? How does it work?
I think so, yeah. It's like the thing. Like they've been the thinged, the imposter.
Okay, so maybe here's a little sauce for this. I'm thinking we flip it on its head. We really get into the character of the imposter, and we figure out what makes them tick and what are they doing? Why are they killing
What's
people,
their motivation? Because
What's their motivation?
Want to kill.
Yeah,
Line.
because most people don't just kill for no reason. They do
True.
it for a very good reason. So the imposter is like, yeah, maybe they're trying to get to like maybe their home planet was destroyed. Maybe it was destroyed. But are the Among Us guys humans, by the way?
That's a really good question. I don't
Okay.
think so. They have
Okay,
like internals. They have organs, so they're humanoid in some respect, similar organ structures.
So whatever those guys are, they like their species like polluted the universe. To solve like the trash crisis. They shot their trash into space like Futurama. And that landed on the imposter's planet, which was so thoroughly toxified that it had to escape.
So it is like some alien stuff. We got a little xenomorph thing going on here. Like,
Yeah, it's basically Alien the musical for kids.
Okay.
I
That would
think
be
that's
great.
that's
No, I
pretty
like
solid.
that. I think you could probably just do the imposter as like a background character who exists and is like menacing. Have like moments where, because you can't really get into like, you could do the background stuff. I do like the idea of like, oh, there's a song that's like, oh, we shouldn't have shot that trash out the window or something stupid like that.
That's good. That's
Like,
very good.
just, oh man, now they're out to get us. But the imposter is just like doing stuff. It's like,
So it's
they-
like
you
the
know.
thing. It's not like a character that is like talking to the audience. It's just
no,
like a
because
monster.
the imposter's goal is to just be another character in the story.
Yeah.
Like any good whodunit, you don't want to think.
You're right. The audience can't know.
Yeah,
There won't be any dramatic tension if the audience knows.
exactly. So everyone has to
That's a
play
good
it up, and like there has to be something that happens. The light goes out, right? That's part of Among Us too. Is the way that the imposter can get the other crewmates and kill them is by messing with the ship. So there could be like the lights go out, and that's a classic clue murder thing, right?
This is great. So this is not this movie. We will write this as a stage play.
Yes.
to build momentum for it.
No,
Because
we'll start off Broadway. We don't want to go
Yeah.
Broadway first. We got to build
exactly.
it.
We'll get Lin-Manuel in on this.
Oh, boy. All
he'll
right.
obviously want it in on this because it's extremely cringe and he loves that shit. So we'll get him. And like how many Among Us? There's like 8 people that play in a round of Among Us.
Something like that, yeah.
Okay, so the play will have 8 act breaks. It will be 8 micro acts.
Oh my god!
And
about each person
at the end
proving
of
why
each-
they're not the imposter.
At the end of yeah, exactly. Each act will be a person being like, I couldn't be the imposter because you've all met my wife, and and then at the end of each act, the house lights go down, it's pitch black, and the lights come back up, and that person is dead.
Oh shit!
And then the last act, you're like, there's only 2 left, and they're like going back and forth. They're like, well, it's like maybe neither of us are the imposter. Maybe the imposter is gone, right?
No, it
like,
would have to be 3, right? Because if it's just 2, the imposter just kills the last person.
That's true. But I like the idea of there's 2 people left and the audience still doesn't know. And those 2 people are like, man, maybe the imposter, maybe it like killed itself. And the other one's like not saying anything.
I think you do 3 at the end just because then you can do the like, he's the imposter, shoot him. No, he's the imposter, shoot him.
Yeah, one of them gets a gun at some point and he's like fucking pointing in between
Which one's
them.
the real one? And then it ends. And depending on when you went to watch the show, one of the 2 characters is the imposter. It changes every time. It's just like the Clue movie. It's just like medieval times. You never know who.
I love that. And at the end, the audience votes.
Who do you think's the imposter? Who should she shoot?
It's like dinner theater. Like everyone's over there like fucking chicken parm. They're like, yeah, honey, did you fill out the survey?
Did you eat your corn out of the tinfoil? Are you done with that yet? Can I have the leftovers? Do you still have your baked potato?
I love the 3-person finale. I think that's great. And I think the way it ends is it's like an ambiguous ending where they're like, don't shoot me, shoot him. No, don't shoot me. And then he shoots, someone off stage, right, that claps the 2 wood blocks together to make the gunshot noise. Right. And one of the imposters falls dead. And then the guy holding the gun looks at the other one and he's like, thank God we figured out that the imposter was that guy who just died. And then the guy just stands there. He doesn't say anything for like 30 seconds.
Yeah.
And
or
then the curtain closes.
Even deeper, you go, like, I totally agree. That's always a good twist. But even better, the person who shot the gun shoots one guy. The other guy who had the gun pointed at him goes, oh, thank God you didn't kill me, because he was clearly the imposter. And then the guy with the gun shoots the other guy.
Oh, shit.
They were the imposter the whole time.
Oh, shit. The imposter knows how to use a gun.
That's right. They learned from watching TV.
Which was, okay, wait, one final note. The very end is, at the end, like after the curtains close, the audience thinks the show is over, and they're all like,
oh, shit.
They're murmuring to themselves, right? And then at the end, the actor with the gun comes out of the curtain holding the prop gun and starts pointing it wildly at the audience. And people are like, is this real? Is this part of the show? Is this part of the show?
Shooting random audience members. We're pranking you guys. The show's still going.
There's plants. There's plants in the
God.
audience.
There's 8 more acts, guys.
There's people planted in the audience who are pretending to get shot.
Oh my God, okay. No.
This has gone too far. That
doesn't work in America. We can't do that.
This is how we get banned from Hollywood and Broadway. I'm gonna say this is a producer. Okay, this is the final note here. This is the producer style thing where it is a show so prone to failure that we will take out an insurance policy against its success.
Yeah, this is an Inarito Birdman kind of thing too. This is like. It's performance art, baby. I brought a real gun.
Okay, you're right. It's a movie about the stage play musical of Among Us. The movie is about the stage play that we're putting on. It's the tribute. Yeah. The movie is a meta film. It's like a Charlie Kaufman thing. It's about you and I writing and putting on the show of Among Us the musical. And it's called Among Us the Musical the Movie.
Oh, I just got a headache thinking of that existing.
I think that might be our best one yet.
Yeah, I like it.
I was skeptical of Among Us the Musical. I think it's our best one yet.
No, I'm telling you, musical whodunits. It's an untapped category. Someone get on that.
We're cooking, dude. Spin that fucking wheel.
Let's get it going. Game category this time. Game category. Game.
Among Us
whatever.
the Musical the movie.
Again. Ooh,
delete
Half-Life.
the podcast. Let's make that.
Honestly, we're not. That whole thing's getting bleeped. Okay, so the game this time is Half-Life, or the franchise this time is Half-Life.
I'm still laughing about people in the audience being like, "Is this part of the show?
Is this bit? Is this extra?" Okay. No, we can't do musical again. Half-Life musical would be funny though, but do you want to do music? We just did one.
I don't think we can do 2 musicals. Okay. Yeah,
do a category. Respin. We'll stick with Half-Life.
Yeah, let's see where Half-Life takes us.
Okay, Apocalypse. Okay, that is kind
Half-Life
of
is an apocalypse already. Yeah, let's spin that genre one more time.
All right,
and if Half-Life may also be not prone to movie-ification.
Okay, heist, kind of, isn't it? Sort of. Is that what Alex is doing in Alex?
You know, I would love to tell you that because I've played that game not that long ago, but I don't remember because I've started to realize
focused on the cool VR stuff.
I've started to realize that I don't pay enough attention to the stories of a lot of video games. Half-Life heist.
I think you could do it.
I'm feeling tepid
you do a movie about
Half-Life.
The movie between 1 and 2,
okay,
where they go to save Gordon. Because isn't that what happens? Like Barry,
that is Alex.
Barry has to break
Okay.
in and be. Is Alex about that?
Alex
Saving-
is. I won't spoil anything about it other than saying that it is like it basically is a heist to go rescue Gordon.
Right, I thought so because that's the bridge movie, right? That's the one that takes or the bridge game rather.
I think we chalk this one up to Half-Life Alyx the movie, and we spin both again.
Yeah, sounds good.
Okay, so that's just Half-Life Alyx the movie. We're available to screenwrite it if you need us.
We can do a VR version if you need it.
The audience all wears VR goggles to see the movie.
Right. The movie's actually playing on the screen, but the VR headsets have something else on them.
Yeah, exactly. They have Among Us the Musical, the movie.
They get shot at the end.
A better movie.
All right, here we go. Game, Mario. Been waiting for this.
Oh, thank God.
Category.
Please be Tarantino. Please be Tarantino.
No, we're not. Heist. Mario Heist. You
No,
wanna do it?
roll fucking. Well, okay, hold
We can
on.
do Mario Heist. What's he stealing?
Here, do me a favor. Spin the genre
Okay.
one more time, and if it's not better than Heist, we'll do Mario Heist.
Okay. Mario mockumentary.
Okay, I like Heist better, I think.
Okay. All right. Fair.
Okay. Mario Heist. Now, there's a lot to work with here. Mario obviously has like a lot of iconic placeholders. Like we were saying, you know, the Diablo movie, you got to drink a health potion. The Mario movie, you got to take a mushroom, right? What I'm thinking is, I think the bare minimum for a Mario movie like this is that you have to take those things and you have to transpose them out of context. So like during the initial meeting of this is just the glimpse that comes to me of Mario Heist movie. The initial meeting with like Mario is meeting up with the other people who are going to do the heist. They're like, we're gonna blow the Koopa vault and take all the fucking gold coins out from under his damn feet while he sleeps. And they're like, well, how are you gonna do it? And he opens like a big crate and it's full of fire flowers. And they're gonna like detonate 1,000 fire flowers.
They're gonna.
You know what I mean?
Oh, it's the 1993 World Trade Center bombing of the Mario universe.
Okay, wait, no, okay, hold on.
Okay.
Now, this is a good opportunity for me to present an idea. Before we came up with the wheel idea, we were going to do pre-baked, like I was going to say like, well, oh, wouldn't it be funny, a Dark Souls musical? And then we came up with the idea ahead of time. I did come up with one that fits Mario Heist. Can I pitch it to you and we'll work
let's
it
hear
out?
it.
Okay, so you know the movie How to Blow Up a Pipeline or whatever?
Yeah.
So this is a Mario eco-terrorism movie. It's called How to Blow Up a Warp Pipeline.
Oh shit. Okay, hold on. That's
Yeah.
the fucking hardest cook I've ever heard in my life.
Thank you.
That's so
Thank you.
good.
Thank you. That's
That's like a college humor bit from like if they were still kicking. That's 100% what they would have
so
done.
How to Blow Up a Warp Pipeline. It is an eco-terrorism heist Mario movie.
Okay.
The warp pipelines are being used by. Okay, here it is.
Who's blowing up the warp pipe? By the way?
Mario.
Is this still Mario? Okay.
Mario and his cohorts are doing it. They're like an eco-terrorist cell. And the reason they've broken from the Mushroom Kingdom is the Mushroom Kingdom are kind of like they're like the neoliberal establishment where they're like, they have soft power, but they've compromised with the Koopa Kingdom to do something that like, they're using the pipelines to like ship whatever, like fucking
Munitions.
To ship bullet bills or something. Yeah, they're like
bullet bills. Yes.
They're selling bullet because the Mushroom Kingdom is on economically hard times. They're being an arms dealer and they're selling bullet bills to the Koopa Kingdom to
Koopa Dick Cheney made money on the fucking.
He sold all the air conditioning on this war. So the Koopa Kingdom is going to war with like some other kingdom somewhere, like some fucking, you know, sometimes Mario has like other enemies pop up or whatever. One of them, he's at war with one of them. Okay. And the Toad Kingdom is like, it's fine to sell him all the bullet bills because he's not going to use them against us. But Mario is like, but then he's going to you're just creating Al Qaeda. You know what I mean? Like you're just creating Al Koopa.
Oh fuck!
So
Al Koopa. Oh no!
So he's like, if there is a strong proliferation of weapons in the Koopa Kingdom, then what happens when their war is over?
Koopa? I can't get over Al Koopa.
It's spelled with a K too. It's spelled.
Of course it is.
Or with a Q.
With a Q. Yeah.
Q, yeah.
Al,
Yeah.
very subtle. Very
Al Koopa. Yeah, and it's. This is
Oh
fucked.
my god! The bullet bills are being shipped over there. Fuck.
Okay, so maybe that's like either the halfway or the 2/3 point is that like Mario is like Mario does like eco terror to like he's disrupting. He blows up the warp pipeline that they're shipping all the bullet bills to the Koopa Kingdom, right? And then then it shifts into like a Paths of Glory Kubrick thing where like you're like, oh, this is a movie. It's like a heist movie where he like blows up the pipeline. The heist goes off without a hitch. That's the first half of the movie. Second half of the movie, Mario is on trial for eco-terrorism in the Mushroom Kingdom. And he's being like they're trying to force Peach to testify against him and stuff. And she's like, Mario, I don't know what you like. She visits him in his cell and she's like, I don't know what you want me to do. Like, I told you I wasn't down with this shit. And like, you know, we've been together a long time, but like, I have to run a kingdom, you know, like you don't understand like politics. Sometimes you got to get your hands dirty in politics.
Oh my God.
And Mario is like smoking a cig and his fucking, he's lighting it off a fire flower. He's lighting a cigarette off a fire flower. And he's like, you don't stand for shit, do you? You're just
I really appreciate you not doing the Mario voice. You don't stand for shit.
You don't stand for shit. What do you even believe
He goes
in?
to bomb the fucking thing. Let's go. And then bombs the fucking pipeline.
Yeah, I guess bombs are also. I don't know why I went with fire flowers blowing shit up. He would just bring 1,000 bombs that they would just march in and blow up the pipeline. Yeah, so he's like awaiting trial. That's like the midpoint of the movie. He's arrested. Second half, he's awaiting trial. And while he's awaiting trial, the Koopa Kingdom bites the hand that feeds them, and they commit an act of terror in the Mushroom Kingdom because they're trying to stage a multi-front war. They're sort of like the Nazi Germany in this political situation. And then they're like, Mario, you were fucking right the whole time. The Koopa Kingdom never had they didn't care about us. They were just trying to get all the weapons so that they could turn on us. And Mario's like he's like Snake Plissken, you know? He's smoking a cig and he's like, are you gonna let me out of here to do something about it or what? And they're like, Mario, you're the only person crazy enough to go in there and do something about it, you know?
We need a real Italian to take care of these guys.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so it's a two-prong heist movie where we reprise the heist structure. The first half, you get a Ocean's 11 of blowing up the pipeline. You get the eco-terrorism angle. The second half of the movie, like the Act 3, because Act 3 always falls apart in a video game movie. They're out of material. You've seen the fire flower. The novelty's
Drop
worn
some
off.
cameos, and then 15 minutes later, it's the credits.
Exactly. The kids are everyone's got to pee, and the kids are getting restless in the theater.
We're out of popcorn. Yeah,
this is a kids' movie, by the way.
Of course it is. We got to teach kids early what to do
children.
when the fucking society falls apart.
So Act 3 is a reprisal of the heist structure where Mario is like, yeah, I'll do one last job. And the last job is him going in to murder King Koopa. And
oh my God.
So there's like a, you know how a heist movie has to have like the suit up segment where they're like, well, we're going to need guns. And then he opens the crate. There's like a bunch of AK-47s. They're all like, and it's like the montage.
Like actual AK-47s?
Yeah. Well, Mario does have a gun in one of the old Mario anime movies. You know?
That's right. True.
So we could do that. But I was thinking that it's like him and like Luigi. They're kind of like a Sacco and Vanzetti, you know? They're like anarchist brothers. Right. I don't think Sacco and Vanzetti were brothers, but whatever. But they were Italian. So I think, okay, it's a Sacco and Vanzetti kind of thing. That's an inspiration I never would have pegged for this movie.
Okay, I got to figure out who Sacco and or Vanzetti are.
Sacco and Vanzetti were two, I believe, Italian-American anarchists who did a bombing and were, I think, probably like hanged or something. It's been a while since I was in high school. Anyway, I'm getting off track here because I got excited about Sacco and Vanzetti being Italian. There's a montage of them. They're loading up the fire flowers. They're like at the range shooting fucking flowers, and then they go and they kill Bowser. So you get a second heist where you get the first heist in the first half. Them go kill Koopa is the second heist.
I like it.
I think How to Blow Up a War Pipeline is a 10 out of 10 movie.
Just the title alone would get people in the theaters.
Thank you.
I need to watch whatever the hell that is.
Thank you. I'm going to write this one.
Yeah, honestly. You can make that a short film. I think Dropout's always looking for new content. So if that's the follow-up to College Humor. Yeah.
Okay.
Hit him up.
Or Hard Drive. If Hard Drive wants to fund this endeavor, you could be our producer.
Yeah, $20 million.
That's all it takes. That's all it takes.
Cheap.
I just give me $1 million up front and I'll run with it.
Yeah, we'll figure out how to make it work. Jesus Christ, I can't believe you're gonna Al Koopa is gonna stick with you. I've been on more than one podcast now where we have essentially made 9/11 Mario jokes. This one and the Pixel Lit podcast. It's shout outs to the boys over there, Kevin and Phil. All right, let's do another game. Let's do another one. Movie. Yeah, this is fun.
We're cooking. Yeah, this is as fun as I expected it would be.
This is more fun than playing video games. All right, so the game category this time, or franchise, is Resident Evil.
Okay, let's see. It better not be horror.
I hope it's horror. We should have put Office style comedy on here.
We did a
post-apocalypse. That doesn't work.
Okay, it can't be post-apocalypse.
It's zombies.
Roll the genre again.
Yeah, we're rolling it, baby.
It's gonna be A24.
War. What is it good for? Absolutely nothing.
Is war what it landed on? Sorry, is a lag.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, war. Resident Evil war movie? That sounds kind of sleeper to me.
Yeah.
Roll the genre again.
Zombie. World War Z. Or
World
G,
War
I
Z.
guess.
It'd be World War T because of the T virus.
Okay, does Resident Evil mockumentary work?
Could that sounds like that'd be like one cut of the dead.
Yeah. All right. One more. This is it.
I'll write down
war
mockumentary.
again.
We can maybe work with that if nothing better comes up.
Who done it? That's just Among Us again.
Yeah, Resident Evil Whodunit. Yeah, I don't know about that. Let's think about roll it one more time and then
this is it. This is the one. I believe we're gonna get David Lynch here.
And if
oh, almost. I was so close. We got Scorsese.
Resident Evil Scorsese.
How do you do that? How do you do a Scorsese zombie movie? What does that look like?
Ever since I can remember,
I've
always wanted to
be a zombie.
Yeah, okay. No, I don't know about Scorsese Resident Evil. I feel like you would just have to do like a crime movie in the world of Resident Evil, and then I feel like we're just back to heist movie.
Yeah.
Resident Evil mockumentary. I don't know. Not a lot of meat on that, but I think Resident Evil might be a little too broad.
Yeah, or a little too specific even. Like it's too specifically.
It's broad in all the wrong ways and specific in all the wrong ways.
Yeah. All right.
I said we roll another game.
Yeah.
It's kind of like the Yakuza.
Whoever made this list of games is an asshole.
Yeah, seriously.
Metroid is the game that we got.
I've never played a Metroid game. I didn't even know this was on the list.
Okay, we will re-roll then.
Let's re-roll that because
I put it on.
I didn't catch that. I don't know anything
Okay,
about
this
Metroid.
is yours. Silent Hill.
Silent Hill. Okay.
Okay. Horror. No. And the genre is. I'm gonna just spin that.
I feel
on
like
my
this
own.
is the better version of the Resident Evil movie, anyway.
Yeah. This wheel is the random number generator stuck. Okay, romantic comedy.
Silent Hill romantic comedy. Oh my god. I feel like you could do a lot with this one. I feel like every single joke that I can think of revolves around spoiling Silent Hill 2.
Yeah, I was just gonna say Silent Hill 2 kind of feels like the one you do, right? Where you do like a two-perspective Silent Hill rom-com, where it's like the two estranged lovers are trying to meet back up in the city where they had their first date, and it's like they're one's in hell and the other one's not in hell. And
I know I want to do it
other.
so bad, but I truly feel like you would have to spoil Silent Hill 2 to do this one.
Do you have to? What if we just like just take that as the central beat? Okay. That it's two lovers they're going to the town where they had their first date and they want to find each other again. They met at like a Halloween party 5 years ago, and they're 30 now. They're like, the rest of my life's ahead of me. I want to find the one that's meant for me. They want to find each other. First one goes there, stuck in hell. Second one who goes there, or not, maybe not even that. Maybe it's a Cinderella thing. Maybe like woman who shall not be named is just from hell, and man doesn't know that she's from hell, and they're trying to find each other.
All right, now you're cooking. All right, what about this? There's a guy has like a drunken night out. Like the intro of the movie is like, me and the boys are gonna go out and get wasted to pick up chicks, and then while they're at the bar in like a hazy drunk montage where everything's all fucking chaotic, he meets a girl, and she is like, you should come visit me sometime, and she writes down her address, hands it to him. He stuffs it in his pocket. He wakes up the next day and he's like, who was that girl? He pulls out the paper and it's her address in Silent Hill.
Yeah.
So it's him, and he's like, I gotta find this girl. And his friends are like, dude, it's just like just one chick. And he's like, no, you don't understand, bros. She's the one. She's special. So he goes to Silent Hill. Now here's how it's a romantic comedy. That's the romance angle sorted. The comedy aspect is that he is oblivious to the fact that Silent Hill is fucked up. So while he's, you know how like Silent Hill, it's like a normal town, but it's all like there's like monsters everywhere and like everything's all fucked up. The guy he's too stupid. He's like a dumb bro, and he's just
Dak
there.
Shepard.
Yeah,
playing him, yeah,
yeah, exactly. This is like a 2000s dumb like drinking bro comedy, not Animal House, but like an
American Pie
road trip, yeah, or American Pie,
yeah,
something like that. So he goes there and he's just like, man, I'm just like trying to find a place to get a drink now that I'm in town, whatever. And he goes up and the bartender is like a fucked up zombie who's like crab walking in the bar. And the guy's just like, man, people are weird here. Like he doesn't get that it's a horror movie. You know what I mean? Because
He
it's not
thinks
a
it's
horror
like
movie.
Halloween all the time in this town.
Yeah. Okay. So this is like a Shaun of the Dead style comedy horror.
Okay, or like a
kind of thing.
Beetlejuice kind of comedy horror sort of thing.
It is. It's like comedy horror, but usually comedy horror is like, we're so smart that we're doing comedy horror. This is the opposite. This is the dumbest comedy horror possible.
Yes.
It's just about a dumb, helpless guy who's like stumbling around town, and like all of the beats of a romantic comedy happen, but just like he's the only one who is like living them out. So like he goes to the bar and there's like all fucking like zombies and monsters and stuff. And he's just like, whatever, I guess I'll help. He's like drinking the beer behind the bar and stuff. And he's like, he thinks he's like at a bar, a normal bar with just like weirdos. And he doesn't realize that he's like narrowly avoiding dying a million times over.
Right. Just
like
pure luck.
Yeah, like at some point he spies like a zombie who used to be like a pretty lady, and he's like, whoa, she's beautiful. And he's like, there's like the beat where like the guy almost gets distracted from the primary romance by like the side character, and then he's like, no, like I'm actually here to meet like Vanessa or whatever our romantic interest name is.
And the zombie who's there, or the monster, the freaky ghoul monster that's there from Silent Hill is like, yeah, man, I know a guy named or a girl named Vanessa. Come with me. I definitely won't cut your arms off. And like they go into a back alley and they start having a conversation.
Yeah. Or like, you know how a bunch of Silent Hill is like manifestations of people's insecurities or their sins or whatever. Like Pyramid Head is like a embodiment of kind of like the wrongs of James Sunderland or whatever. Like, I'm thinking this guy is so dumb that when he meets these monsters that are the embodiment of his
own personal
fallibility,
insecurities.
he's just like, this guy's cool.
Yeah, this guy who's got this real like mommy issue. It's kind of dope, honestly.
This guy's
I like
fucking.
this guy.
I fuck with this guy. Yeah, like he's just like drinking with whatever the pyramid.
So what would his
head
insecurity
is.
monsters be?
So let's see. He's like a dumb bro who like. Okay, I think it's this. I think the movie is about him. This is a classic rom-com bit. It's about him growing up because he's like, okay, here's what it is. He's like 32 and he still lives in the frat house where he went to college. So like the opening of the movie where he goes out drinking, it's like him and a bunch of like...
Him and like 19-year-olds.
Yeah,
or
like him and a bunch of
20-year-olds.
19-year-old
I'm not old enough to
dudes.
drink. Don't worry, guys. I got you.
I've been old enough to drink for 12 years.
Still going for my master's.
Yeah. He's like, I almost finished my minor in English studies. And so he's like, so he is like they're like Sigma Beta Kappa. And he's like, yeah, bros. Like he's still in the frat life. So his insecurity demon is that he is immature. And his character arc is that he needs to grow up. And I think the ideal version of this movie is that he never realizes that Silent Hill is full of monsters. He just is
I love it.
like whatever the equivalent of his Pyramid Head is whatever like
his math professor shows up and is like, "Did you study?" And he's like, "No, not again, Mr. Wilkinson. How'd you get here?" And, it's
and
like,
why are you all fucked up looking?
Yeah, why do you have 3 heads? What happened? And they're all along your spine.
And then at the end, he's like as Mr. Wilkinson Pyramid Head is going to like kill him, he still thinks they're friends, and he's like, "Listen, man, I can't just like keep going out drinking every night with you, you know? Like there's more to life."
So the way he defeats his monster so that he can go save his girl is like he talks down to his own insecurities and like explains to them how like what's wrong. Like, oh, you know, it's time that I move on from you, Mr. Wilkinson. I know what 1 + 1 is. It's 2. And then he
2.
like disappears.
Yeah, exactly. He solves a
I'm
basic
proud
math
of
problem.
you, James.
The monster's like, well, you finally did it. You carried the 2.
It's not your fault. It's not your fault.
It's
Played
not
by
your
Robin
fault.
Williams.
And then his like deadbeat, the apparition of his deadbeat parents appear, and
His
they're like,
deadbeat
it's not your
dad shows
fault.
up, but like he's cool. You're right. He's cool with his deadbeat dad. He's
Yeah.
like, "Oh, dude, I've missed. It's been so long. You
Yeah,
want to
yeah,
drink
yeah,
beers
he
and do nothing?"
He doesn't realize that his dad sucked. His dad was like the apparition of his dad shows up. And he's like, "Listen, I know I wasn't present for a lot of your childhood, and I drank a lot." And the main character is just like, "So, like, do you want to drink now?"
It's okay, dude. I get it. I'm really into beer. I'd do anything to drink.
I get it. Drinking is great.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And then he. So
This feels like like one of those terrible parody movies Like
It
we're
does.
writing
Like Scary
one of
Movie.
the like Meet the Spartans or like Scary Movie or something. Like,
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, wait. No, I've got the name of this movie. You ready?
yeah.
It just came to me like in a vision. It's called Silent Chill, and he's like
Oh my fucking god! Boom! That's
is.
so good.
There it is.
Silent Chill. Oh, dude, this
And
is.
it's just about a bro chilling in Silent Hill.
If I was 13 again, this would be the best movie ever made. Holy shit! I love Without a Paddle, and this is just Without a Paddle again.
Oh shit. Yeah,
But,
and we get
like, worse.
who's the guy that plays Van Wilder?
I can never remember his name.
Oh no, that's Ryan Reynolds. Who's the other guy I'm thinking of?
Well, you're thinking of like the goon guy, right? Like the.
I think so. Who's
Wasn't
who's
he
the
in a-
guy? Who's the
Goon?
guy that was like in? Is it Sean William Scott? Is that his name?
Yeah, I just searched the Gooner. That's not the movie.
The Gooner. Okay, it's Sean William Scott plays
Okay,
the
yes,
main
yes.
character, and
He's
he's
also in Goon, just to be clear.
he's 47, and I say he is in this movie playing like a mid-30s, even though because you know how in like these comedy movies it'll be like Jack is 18 and the actor's like 32.
Yeah.
I'm thinking our character's like 32 and the actor is 47.
Perfect.
Cool,
As it
All
should
right.
be.
I think Silent Chill is a fucking. I think we got this one in the bag.
Silent Chill is a 10 out of 10. I would
I
watch
was
the fuck out
skeptical
of
of Silent Chill at first. I feel like we really. I'm glad you pushed for this one because I think it developed. Into
I
its
really
own.
like that the romantic comedy angle for this starts and stops at he meets a girl, and we never like thought of what the resolution is. He
what
just
if he
gets
never
over his
finds
own
her?
personal ghosts and never finds her, or she
What
shows
if
up
he-
and he's like, "Wait, who are you again?" And then just
Yeah,
walks
yeah.
right by her.
She shows up at the end and she's like, "You did it. You finally grew up." And he's like, "What?" And she's like, "It's me. It's Vanessa." And he's like, "What?"
Vanessa, and then it just cuts to credits.
Like, yeah, exactly. Okay, that's great. That's fucking perfect.
Perfect. Oh
Damn.
man. Okay. One more.
Yeah, let's like roll a few times until we get one that feels juicy.
All right, then we're like,
and-
this has to be done.
Yeah, I could do this all day though.
I could, but we're not getting paid to do this all day. no shot.
Okay, it can't be Metroid
Okay,
because I don't know anything about Metroid.
right. Just guess.
I
Already did
I mean,
Among
it
Us.
could. Okay.
Metroid's the girl, right?
Oh, I don't play games that are
already
for
did
girls.
Zelda.
Actually,
I mean, we could do Zelda, a different thing, but
let's keep going until we get a new one. Maybe
yeah. We could just pick one manually, but it's funny to make it spin.
that's not fun though.
Yeah, that's true. The wheels fighting. I'm telling you, this random don't like me. Silent Hill again? Jesus. Come on. I believe in you.
We're never gonna beat Silent Chill. I'm just
No,
saying that right
we're
now.
not. Okay, we got Portal. How do you feel about Portal?
I
All
feel
right,
like Portal's
next.
a little sauceless.
Yeah. Sorry, Valve.
Sorry, Valve.
Make
I
cooler
mean,
games.
Half-Life's great. Portal's kind of whatever. I mean, the game is good. I just don't know about it as like a movie.
Yeah.
I wouldn't go see a Portal movie. Let me.
Like,
say
what are the
that.
narrative beats? We got to have the space guy. You know, Wheatley. Everyone loves Wheatley. Okay, hold on. Katamari Damacy.
Okay, I could work with Katamari.
All right.
What do we got for genre here? I feel like Katamari has a lot of potential. I hope it's Cronenberg.
Oh, it's not, but can we just do Cronenberg?
What did it land on? Scorsese?
Scorsese. It was so close to Cronenberg. I'm just going to click this until we get Cronenberg. Okay,
Let's
hold
do
on.
a couple.
David Lynch.
Okay, Katamari, David Lynch, I like.
Okay.
Katamari Damacy, David Lynch. Okay, let's work with that. Let's hash it out. Let's
How do
figure
you
this
make
out.
Katamari? You just do Katamari in like Eraserhead or in oh my god. It's not what's the show? Twin Peaks.
Twin Peaks. Yeah. So David Lynch movies are always like, people talk a lot about like Lynchian as it's just like spooky and surreal and unnerving. But what David Lynch movies are really about is like, it's like a dark heart underneath the. Okay, this is actually perfect.
Is this going to be a reverse Katamari? Where you're walking around with all this shit and on the inside of the Katamari is like, or the ball is like humanity.
It's humanity. All right, we can work towards that. But what I was gonna say is, David Lynch movies are always about like, it's like 1950s America and everything is great. Wasn't it great back in 1950s America? And then the camera zooms in until it's like, oh no, it was actually fucked up and everyone wanted to like fucking kill or fuck each other and it was like really dark and disturbing. Like that's what Lynchian just means. It's like penetrating into the There's a fucking David Foster Wallace quote about this. It's like the coexistence of, it's like the horror of the mundane. It's like when you meet the guy at the penny candy store from the 1950s America penny candy place, and you're like, oh, he must be like the nicest guy ever. And then when he goes home, he's like drinking himself to sleep and like saying he wants to kill his ex-wife, you know? Like it's like the horror, it's the horror that is contained within the comforting mundane is actually not comforting. So I think Katamari Damacy, how does that tie into like, what is the dark truth? Because Katamari Damacy, aside from the ball rolling things up, is
it's like a game about a godlike being destroying everything, right? Like destroying all the planets.
Well, he's like rolling up everything to create like stars or planets or something.
Okay.
But there's like a very colorful, like, okay, here's what it is. There's a very like, everything in Katamari Damacy is so joyful, right? But if you actually think about what's happening in Katamari Damacy, there's mass destruction. There's rolling up cities and people and like, you know, like the game presents it as like everyone's happy to be rolled up, but who would be happy to be rolled up in a giant fucking sticky ball and shot into space, right?
Yeah.
So I'm thinking that this is like, the question is our protagonist, what's the perspective of this movie? Is the audience following the prince who's rolling up the balls? Maybe the prince is having like a crisis of faith in what he's doing, or
no,
are we a normal person in the world?
Yes, we're a normal person in the world. We've heard about this thing called the Katamari event that's happening somewhere on the other side of the world, probably Japan, because that's easy for David Lynch to do. And everyone's terrified and really worried about this happening. And like at points it does hit America or wherever I guess America, it's a David Lynch movie, somewhere, but not where our heroes are, our main characters, our protagonists. And they're like constantly worried about it. It's basically what I'm suggesting is we write a COVID movie where the Katamari is COVID. And like, we're all like, is it going to happen to us? And they're in New York. Like, what if it gets to us next? And they're like pondering the concept of being, you know, there's one character on the side, he's played by Kyle MacLachlan. He's just like, oh, you know, would it really be that bad to be rolled up into a giant ball?
That's great. Yeah, there's like a scene in the like a Twin Peaks style diner where, because like David Lynch oftentimes will like pull back from the main point of the movie and just give us a little time to be in the world, right? So there's like a 20-minute sequence where people are just like in a local coffee shop and they're like talking about the Katamari, and people are representing different perspectives. Like one guy's like, you know, I ain't got much to live for, but if I died being rolled up into a giant Katamari ball, might be a good period at the end of this sentence I call life. Yeah, exactly. So,
I fought in World War II. I'll be part of a ball.
Yeah, okay, here's the other thing. Okay, I've got it. It came to be. The Lynchian, the comforting mundane thing that we're zooming Lynch into until it's horrifying is that a lot of people the Katamari crisis is happening. People are being rolled up into it. But a lot of people are having like a sort of like a messianic, like, oh, it's good actually. Like that's good when that happens to you and you get shot up into space. And our protagonist, exactly. And our protagonist is like, wouldn't you die exposed to the vacuum of space? Would you not die instantly? And people are like, no, you're unified with the Katamari and you transcend into the cosmos. And he's sort of like
your ultimate purpose as part of the ball.
Totally. So it's like it's like an analog for being like like the only person who doesn't believe in whatever like cultish religion in the middle of like a hyper evangelical community or whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah. There's this show I watched on Netflix called Carol and the End of the World. It's like an animated show about the end of the world happening, presumably very soon. There's like this giant planet that's going to hit Earth and everyone knows it's going to happen. Everyone knows you're going to die. We have like 53 days left or whatever, like 6 months. And the main character, Carol, works at an office. Like she just wants to work. She just wants to have a job and have like a normal routine. So the whole show is about people working their jobs and like going to TGI Fridays and like having a normal life. They're like, oh, I gotta get toner for the printer. So she has to like go to all these destroyed Staples and like fucking whatever they're called in America, Office Depots. And like they're just like crumbled. They've fallen apart. They've been looted. But it's like, oh man, they're out of toner here. So I could see this movie being like these people trying to live a normal life, try to like have their mundane arguments about like, oh man, yeah, the 1950s 47 Dodgers were way better than the 1953, whoever's, the A's. And like, I don't know if they were a team back then. Sorry for being inaccurate. And it's like, as they're saying this, the news in the background's like the Katamari's going by. And then eventually, there are like the debates about like, should we do this? And like, there's the evangelicals trying to get everyone into it. They're like leaving flyers at the diner that they're visiting. Like, hey guys,
yeah,
just
it's like
so
the
we're having
leftovers.
an event. Yes. Oh my God, dude, the leftovers. It is like the leftovers.
It's like the leftovers, but it's Katamari. Yeah.
Everyone's standing outside,
like
rips
that.
off their shirt, and they're just like, "We're here to save you.
Take me, Katamari."
Yes.
Yeah. This is like the big fucking story like culmination. Is like I said, Lynchian is like the mundane thing that's like comforting, and you make it fucked up. So what happens is everyone goes outside and they're all singing the na 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 Katamari Damacy.
Yes.
And they're all
my
they're like
God.
waiting to get picked up, and the protagonist is like, "What the fuck is wrong with you? What are you people doing?" Like he's like freaking out, and he's like, "You're gonna die when it sucks you up." Yeah, okay. I think that's it.
Oh, and it
it's
happens
like,
over a series of days too. So like, more people aren't in the diner as time goes on
Okay, wait,
because they've
wait.
fallen for it.
you know how like the horror thing now that they do is they'll have like in the movie trailer for like a horror movie, they'll have like a pop song, but they'll do like a spooky sparse piano version.
Oh no! Yes.
It'll be like, so in the trailer for this movie, it was tons of reverb. You hear na 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 na, and then it's like cuts to a scene for the movie where he's like, "If you get shot into space, you're gonna fucking die up there." You know what I mean? And it's like we do.
None
like
of us will make it.
He won't survive.
Yeah,
Yeah, exactly. And this song is building. That's great. It's like a Jordan Peele trailer. Yeah.
Yes, it's Get Out, or it's like Us, but instead of everyone holding hands, it's everyone being rolled up into a ball.
Exactly. Okay, this is Jordan Peele's David Lynch's Katamari Damacy.
Holy shit!
All right.
I kind of think we're on fire, man.
I think
These
it's
sound
great.
awful, but I'd watch them.
I would watch. Okay, can we let's I say now we go back and we give us like just run through the ideas we had and just say how we're feeling about them as movies
Okay,
here.
yes.
Assuming that the next step would be to screenwrite these movies.
Right, picking the best one, greenlighting it, starting the Kickstarter.
Yeah. I would say Diablo Buddy Cop, really strong.
Yeah, I think so. Adam Sandler, easy get. I feel like he brings people into theaters. He's kind of the Glenn Powell of the previous generation of actors.
Yes, absolutely.
It's weird to call someone something in reverse. Glenn Powell's the Tom Cruise of our generation. What the hell?
He's the Tom Cruise of David Lynch's Jordan Peele.
There we go.
Okay. I think that's a great idea. I think Dark Souls Film Noir was dead from the start.
We had nothing for that one.
Zelda Horror was a little bit of a struggle. I feel like there was some potential there, but it's definitely below Diablo Buddy Cop
Yeah,
on my
I think it'd be a
list.
great game. I don't know if it works as a movie.
Agreed. I think Zelda as a franchise is a little too like
Yeah,
It's
you
like
got to
a bunch of-
sacrifice too much to make it a movie. The fact that they're doing it live action seems so wrong to me. I don't know why they're doing that.
it would be horrendous.
Yeah, you got to do it animated, but not Illumination. Do it 2D.
Honestly, you'd have to do it animated, but in some capacity, I feel like it would be even worse if you made it animated.
Yeah, maybe you just don't do it.
I think maybe you just don't do that idea. I think that movie never gets made. Among Us the musical, Among Us the stage play, Among Us the musical,
Among
the
Us, the
movie.
dinner theater play,
Among
the
Us
movie.
the dinner theater, the movie. That's a great idea. I think that's a 10. For my money, that's a 10.
I feel like Outer Sloth or Inner Sloth, I guess they're both now, would totally fund that too.
Yeah, and you do a like an Inaritu Birdman thing, like you were saying.
Yeah.
like it's like
Someone actually shoots themselves, yeah.
It's
Not
it's
fatally.
like it's from the perspective of one of the actors. Is
Yeah,
how
it's
the
a
story
one
is
take
told.
for the whole time.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. All right, Among Us the musical, Among Us the movie, whatever the fuck it's called. I love that one. Half-Life Heist. That's just Half-Life Alex. Job is done. We don't need to write that. The Mario Heist. How to Blow Up a Warp Pipeline. I think is another 10 out of 10.
I think that's the kind of movie that just changes the idea of cinematic masterpieces. People are going to be writing about that one until the end of time. I genuinely, just the title alone is like, how did no one already make this joke?
Let me Google it and see if someone did, because I'm going to be really sad. Actually, you know what? I'm not going to Google it because I'll be sad.
Okay, I'll Google it and I won't tell you.
No, because then I need
Kidding.
to know.
I'll just make no face.
How to blow up a warp pipeline. It's just going to be how to blow up a pipeline. How to blow up a pipeline official trailer. Let me just add Mario.
God.
I don't think anyone's made this.
How to blow up a warp pipe. And it's going to be like, you can use a bomb to destroy a warp pipe in Animal Crossing.
I don't think I think this is an
I
original
think you just
idea.
had a very funny original joke. Well done.
Thank you. It's hard to make a joke that no one else has beat you to these days.
I can't believe that's not a joke. Like doing some eco-terrorism isn't a joke in one of the Paper Mario games.
It should be. I think
seems like a joke,
Nintendo, if you're listening, I think you've got two young upstarts here who are ready to take the Mario IP and
one of us
propel
knows
it.
some Japanese. I think you could bring us over.
Yeah, watashi wa Nihongo ga hanasemasu.
Holy shit. There you go.
Resident Evil mockumentary I have written down. We didn't even get into that because Resident Evil is just what's on that. You have like a Michael Scott character. He's looking at the camera.
It's like, can you believe this? What the hell? The zombie just bit Pam. What the heck? What's Jim gonna do?
Yeah, the Resident Evil mockumentary, just to like one line it, would be like a mockumentary about like it'd be that show you described about the end of the world. It would be like we still have to run. People still need paper in the apocalypse, and they run like a fucking.
Actually, I know what you think you do is. Have you seen Chernobyl, the HBO show? Okay, it's basically like a retelling of what happened. It's a dramatic retelling. Is it accurate? I'm going to say no. No one speaks Russian. About what happened during the Chernobyl disaster, and like it plays it up. It's very heightened, but it is a story roughly about what happens and like showing you all the messed up parts of it. This, if you're going to do the same sort of thing, I think you do a mockumentary version of that, where it's a retelling of like what happened that led up to
the Resident Evil.
Like it's maybe it's 100
outbreak.
years in the future. Like they cured it, everything's back to normal, but they have to do an investigation of like what the hell happened to cause the breakout, the outbreak.
It's like a Ken Burns style documentary about the T-virus outbreak. Okay, that's actually fucking brilliant. I love that.
I'd watch the fuck out of that.
I would too. And it's narrated by Peter Coyote, and he's like, the T-virus was a... Yeah, okay. No, that's great. Okay, we have Silent Chill, the romantic comedy. That's top 3 for me.
Yes,
it's
honestly,
Mario.
I think it's Silent Chill is number 1 for me.
Silent Chill is pretty good. I really
skeptical.
like
the Katamari. I really like the Mario Pipeline one, just because the whole concept is just... If you got kids to watch that in the theater, their lives would be changed for the better, in my opinion. They would know all about Al Koopa and
Al Koopa.
Fucking what's the Koopa Saddam Hussein? There's got to be something there, right?
Yeah.
Fuck. Al Bomb Daddy. I don't know. Whatever. I gotta cut this out. I'm flying in a couple days. They're gonna not let me on the plane. No, my vote is Silent Chill. I like that one so much. It's great.
Yeah. And then Katamari Damacy, David Lynch was our final one. And yeah. All right. So I think our top 3 is Diablo Rush Hour, How to Blow Up a War Pipeline, and Silent Chill. I mean, those are...
Diablo Rush Hour for you, I think, is hinging 100% on Adam Sandler's inclusion.
It really is. Yeah. But honestly, isn't that enough sometimes?
True. Is Adam Sandler not enough, folks? Is he not good enough for you?
Is he not enough for you to get into the theater? Because I think he is.
I agree. Grown Ups 2, one of the worst movies I've ever seen. I can't even joke about that. Straight up talk shit.
Well, all right. I think
this was a blast.
This is
so much fun.
Fucking stupid and fun.
Yeah, I could have done this for another hour easily.
Yeah, I think if people like this, maybe we'll bring it back with Frank and Danny around.
Absolutely. I was also saying we could do this the other way around too, like pick movies and game
make
genres
video games
for them
out
to
of them?
fit into.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, I feel like we could do it the other way around. There's tons of options for this. Yeah, if you guys want more of this, if you want more fun content, Danny's not here to veto it, so let us know in the comments.
Danny DeVito. I don't know. There's something there.
Well done.
Thank you. Well done, Jesse. Thank you for Jesse's. I had the idea for this segment, and then Jesse had the idea for the roulette wheel, which I really feel like made it. So this was a true melding of minds to come up with this insanity.
That's right. That's what the JJs do when they're let out to play. All fun, all work and no play makes the JJs dull boys. But now we're playing. So we're
2J's Studio is available for consultation for script writing. If you have $10 million burning a hole in your pocket and you want to see Silent Chill come to fruition, just
if you love these great ideas that we've been pitching for the last hour,
just give us a call and throw a bunch of money at us. And listen, we're not going to say that it's good, but I will say that it will be better than The Hangover.
Damn! Shots fired at Todd Phillips. Not a big,
he could direct Silent Chill.
Not a big Joker fan. You're not a big...
I have never seen the Joker, and I never will.
You don't have to. The new one is also reviewing terribly, so you made the right call. You invested in the right thing, which is not superheroes.
Well, I superhero genre would be a good one to add to this list, by the way, for next time.
It would be. You're right. How do you make superhero Mario? Easily, I guess. Right? They just
Kind of is a superhero. I feel like most Nintendo characters are just like superheroes. You know, like you could do like an Avengers movie. Okay, that's a fucking
settle
that's a
down.
Movie.
You're too content pilled. Settle down. There's going to be a Nintendo multiverse Avengers movie soon.
It's called Smash Brothers, and
it's it is called Smash Brothers.
It's the Avengers Infinity War. And
Holy
it's like,
shit.
Mario is like, oh, how are we gonna do this? And then Kirby comes out and he's like, I could help you with that. You know,
gruff Kirby. I got your back, Mario. Don't worry about it.
He's, you know, how Kirby inhales. He inhales a whole cigarette. He goes,
he gets really big.
A whole cigarette. Yeah, and then he blows out all the smoke.
Dude, no, he turns into a cigarette because he accidentally swallows it.
Yeah. Now he turns into Snake Plissken from swallowing the cigarette.
Gets an eye patch.
All right. We could do this literally all day. We need to stop.
Let's cut it out. Thank you so much for listening to the Noclip Crewcast this week. This has been a ton of fun. Next week, we will have, I think, Frank back, right? They'll be back from wherever they are, whether or not we could say we don't remember. But yeah, it'll be a 3-boy team. It'll be episode 193. This one's been 192. We'll be talking about stuff, games, who knows. Lots of stuff that has come out or coming out. September's a crazy month, by the way, stacked for games. Tons of new releases. Plucky Squire comes out in a couple days. I've been anticipating that one for a long time. I think Mouthwashing comes out. Yeah, Jeremy, I think you were pretty excited for that one.
Yeah, it looks cool.
Yeah, if we just ran through I'm not going to, but if we ran through the releases for this month, it would take another hour on this podcast. It's a wild month. I Am Your Beast comes out this month also, I believe. So yeah, crazy time. Lots of stuff to cover on the podcast. So we'll see you next week. We'll see you in future weeks. We're not going anywhere. We'll catch you then. I hope you have a great weekend. I'm going to go to Boston myself this weekend for a little late bachelor party / birthday celebration. So that'll be nice. I'm going with a bunch of buddies. We're going to go watch a Sox game. We're going to
Nice. That's awesome.
Yeah, it'll be a blast, man. I'm so excited. I love going to Boston in general. I love hanging out with these guys. It's, I think, my one buddy's first time in the States, I think.
Oh, wow.
And then the rest of them are from like other parts of the world, or like, well, other parts of America, which is the world, really, if you think about it.
Part of the world.
They're people I've known online for years. And it's like, I've never had an excuse to get them all in the same place. So me getting married for the one and only time in my life is like, this is a great excuse. Let's all hang out. So it'll be a blast. I'm very excited for that.
That's awesome, dude. Yeah, I'm excited to hear about your Boston trip.
Our debaucherous tales. Hey, no kissing and telling. That's what Mama taught me.
This is the lamest suggestion for like the boys getting together and go to a Sox game. But you will be very close to the Museum of Fine Arts in Boston if you're at Fenway. And I just want to say,
7 guys at the Museum of Fine Arts. I just
want to say it's an excellent museum, and I believe they have a Salvador Dali exhibit. If you want to, if the boys want to go straight from Fenway, crushing beers, those clocks are melting wicked hot, dude.
Holy shit! Look at them; they're falling apart. Can't believe it. I just watched The Departed. I know. I've heard things. Yeah. No.
Yeah. Practice your Boston accent. Definitely do a lot of fake Boston accent when you're in Boston. They really appreciate.
Oh yeah, they love that. That was the first. It's funny. The first time we went, we didn't hear any Boston accent at all. No Bostonians. Really? The only time I heard one was when we went to Fenway. There was a lady selling pamphlets, and she was like, she had the accent. Or there was a guy who ran the souvenir shop and had like hats and stuff, and that's what a souvenir shop is. Just in case no one knew, they have only hats. And he was like, he had the accent, and I was like, okay, we're finally home. We're here. We've arrived. And then the second time we came to Boston, the first person we heard talk was like, hey, welcome to the car park. There's cars down there. You go hop in one of the yellow ones. They're ready for you. And I'm like, holy crap.
It's a beautiful accent.
It really is.
Every day I'm sad that I did not pick up the accent. My mom has a bit of a Boston accent, and it's a nostalgic thing for me to hear. It's like music to my ears.
It's like a little pang. It just smacks you right in the face. You're like, this is beautiful. I love this angelic accent. What about you, Jeremy? What are you doing this week? What's your plans?
I got some editing. I have a very exciting project that we cannot talk about yet. That I will start the edit on.
But also, I don't even think we mentioned it. I don't know if it's going to be up by the time this is out, but if you're a patron, you can watch right now. Jeremy's fantastic, I will use that word to describe it, as I think that's what it is, fantastic documentary on one of the greatest and most memorable multiplayer maps of all time, Dust and Dust 2, with the original creator of the map, Dave Johnston.
Yeah,
right?
Absolutely. Yeah. So it's up for patrons now at a certain, whatever the early access tier is. I forget what the names of all the tiers are. And I think it'll be public probably like next week first half of next week, probably maybe the beginning of next week, depending. Danny's on the road, so I don't want to speak for him in terms of how busy he is and when he schedules it. But I am led to believe it will be live the first half of next week. So yeah, it's like it's something I've been working on the side for a couple months, and very excited
like
about
it's been cooking for like a decade now, right?
Yeah. I first reached out to Dave Johnston in like 2014 when I worked at GameSpot, and then I quit GameSpot before I could bake anything with him. So yeah, it's really cool, and some original like looks. I mean, the cool thing about it is that there's screenshots of what Dust 2 looked like before it was done, alternate bomb sites where like the bomb spots that, because it's such an iconic map, it's like locked into your brain that it looks a certain way. So it's very fun to see it look, this is what it almost was. This is where the bomb sites almost were. There used to be like windows here. There was an underground area here. And also I have Dave Johnson sent me a picture of him like a few months before he made Dust 1. And he's like a fucking child. And
it's just some kid who made one of the most groundbreaking maps in all of games. It's such an interesting story because I don't think we can do, like if we did a Counter-Strike documentary, that would be awesome. Yeah. But I feel like there's so many stories tied in the games that we cover that we could never really do justice in a documentary about the game itself. Like maybe we would have a chunk in a Counter-Strike doc that would just be on Dust, but who knows, right? There's probably similarly interesting stories about maps, multiple maps for Counter-Strike.
DE Rats. I want to interview the guy who made DE Rats, the one where you play like a
let's
little
just start a whole
rat
series where you just do Counter-Strike maps and just interview the developers.
It would be cool. Yeah. It's funny too, because I expected the doc to be about like the intricacies of the design and it has a little bit of that, but it is a lot of him just being like, yeah, I just liked, I was like 16 and I like sniping. So I put like an area where there's like, you could snipe real good. And it's like, oh, it's fun to hear about how much it was driven by, not like expertise, but just by passion.
Yeah, it's just vibes. It's not like,
it's pure vibes.
This through line. Because even you ask him at some point, not to spoil the doc, you ask him at some point about like the controversy around the doors.
Yeah,
right?
mid-doors.
And like the mistakes or the perceived mistake that I think some people assume that is, and the challenges that come around with that. He's like, I don't know. He was like, I just thought it would be fun to have it there.
Yeah.
People got mad.
Yeah. It's cool. Yeah. It's like the contrast between how people have taken these things and like manipulated them into these strategies that he never would have expected or perceived as possible. So yeah.
I feel like that is what makes it so iconic, because people talk about it for so long, because it's such a controversial thing. Like if it didn't have that, would people give as much of a shit about it? Right. There's arguments that happen forever about these bits and different maps. So I don't.
Yeah, the really imperfections are kind of what make it. Thank you, man. I'm glad you liked it, and people in our community have been enjoying it. So sign up and be a patron if you want to see it now, or watch it with the rest of the chunk of humanity that are not our patrons.
The normies.
The normies, the hoi polloi. As soon as it's up, probably next week. I heard Monday next week. I don't want to say that.
You make no promises.
Yeah. So anyway,
Patreon.com/Noclip. Support us. Support the work that we do. Fund our documentaries. Fund this podcast where we come up with movies for you to never watch. You can just be sad that they'll never happen. Or maybe they will. Who knows? If any producers are watching this. And you have yourselves a great rest of your week. We'll see you next week with another episode of the Noclip Crewcast. Bye. Take care. Bye. Bye. Bye.